All
Oh,
right, and
so
you have with the Sahojins, you eventually get a contract for delivery of a shipment of auriculum ore. So, which is what Stormcrow is looking for, or Tirshon. Okay, so it's everybody drop about 100 credits on general lifestyle expenses and repairs of gear. Uh, well, actually, hold on a second. When was the last time we did lifestyle expenses?
I believe that the underboss was covering our food and board while we were
You're
working for
covering food
them.
and board, so all we're covering is basically like fixing stuff up from like wear and tear on your gear. So,
Right.
okay, so you've gotten into some fairly gnarly combats in the meantime. So let's make it 300 credits.
Okay.
So everybody's gear is like has giant holes and rends and acid marks and electrical burns in it. Uh,
pretty
it's like
fair.
the you're back in town and you're back in the reef at this point, the underwater city. You're hanging out at the taco bar, the fish taco bar. The somehow for most of you, you're going. It's like fish strippers and strip and male exotic dancers just doesn't do it for you. Maybe it's the fact it's like maybe you're surface centric or something, but it's like
Mina's been talking to
it's
them
sort
in
of
the
maybe
background.
it's that fish tail that is putting you off.
I think Mina's been talking to them about unionizing.
Yes.
And I think,
All the exotic dancers is going, but we get paid really well though. It's like
oh, okay.
I
How are
and
the
I'm working
benefits?
and you get the typical you get the typical statement. It's like I'm working my way to college as a stripper. Okay, so the you're hanging out there. One of the mining bosses says, "Hey, uh, there's been so it's been about a week later. So you've got everybody has had a long rest in at this point, long since. Uh, those of you, let's see here. Those of you with levels of insanity at this point, let's see here, can tick off a point. Those of you who have actual insanity need to actually seek out a greater restoration or spend a whole month working on mental health.
I think I
Let's
went.
see here.
Didn't-
Dregus, you have a crystalline like mask over half of your face, where half your face was burnt away by critical cause wounds, essentially that knocked you unconscious. But now you have a gem-like eye and a crystalline mask, sort of covering that whole side of your face from the blessing of the abyss. So anyways, you can sacrifice 10 hit points with no mitigation for a 66 chaos laser ray, and per every 5 extra points you put in, you can add an additional 2d6, probably up to 12d6.
Sounds like fun.
All right, which shouldn't be horrible for a barbarian, so that seems like a reasonable trade-off. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What else?
I think we wanted to get those auto injectors for the med kits.
Okay, so if you want to buy an auto injector, strangely enough, they're relatively cheap. They're 250 credits.
All right.
This allows you to load it up with the contents of a med kit, all the cocktail combat drugs and first aid drugs, and if you get KO'd or whatever, you can pretty much name the trigger reason you want, and then it will basically fire and do its thing. You don't actually have to use it on healing. You could use it on a potion of like berserkness or strength or whatever, or other different types of combat drugs. So
And if we use the med kit, it's 1d8 plus 2.
28 plus 2, yes. So that happens just as a reaction when you reach 0, then, if you want to say, when I'm KO'd, it does its thing. Okay, so other than that, the med kits themselves cost 100 credits.
So it'll automatically happen as like a reaction so we don't go down.
That's correct.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see here. When it's about a week later, one of the crab people, the blue crab people, in fact, essentially the red crab people are slightly different. The what's like, oi, there's these Sahojan fish people that have been asking after you around these parts. It's like, want me to tell them to get lost?
Can y'all still hear? Oh, my
Did
camera
you
just turned off. Hold on.
recognize who they were or what faction they're with?
All the Sahojan look the same to me. They all wear these weird robes, and their sharky heads sticking out of their robes makes them look weird.
We should probably talk to them. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think we should try to talk to them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let them know where you're. Next time I see them, I'll let you know where you are. It's maybe about a day later when a Sahojan group of Sahojans show up at the bar. A very Burble, who's the exchange student president, is like, wow. It's like, I didn't think the reefs were all this were as rough as they say, but it's like, wow, this place is really a shithole.
So we took this sweet little exchange student to the stripper bar, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Like,
Nice.
yeah, when all my friends told me essentially told me the reef was basically the worst sort of slums, I didn't believe them, but it's like, I guess they're right.
I think Mina's
Like,
gonna
you can
wanna
tell,
take-
like Burble is a preppy kid essentially that's never been in like poor situation in her whole life. So it's like, but anyways, I'm supposed to set up the delivery for your friend's auriculum.
Excellent. He's looking forward to that. What do we need to do?
Wonderful. Anyways, where would you like it delivered? It's a little heavy. It's about 500 pounds of raw ore. The refinement essentially is probably more than the refining was a little bit more than the council was willing to put down on it. Since you're probably looking something north of 10,000 creds to have it refined down, but maybe you won't need that, and whoever you're delivering it to can take care of that for you.
Well, we need to get it to the what's
Eye
the
of the Storm.
Eye of the Storm.
Eye of the Storm.
Well, can't help you with that. Essentially, the waters around the Eye of the Storm are might as well be probably the worst whirlpool / riptide you've ever encountered in your life. The sheer strains on most mini subs would tear you apart. So it's by invite only, and the Sahojan people really have never been invited to the Tower of Storms.
Fair enough. How about you give me some contact information, and I make arrangements to see if we can get it to where it needs to go. We'll find an appropriate delivery area for you.
Well, if you can basically if you can hire a warehouse or secure a storage facility, there's quite a few of them near the docking bays by the subport. That would be probably the best. I'm only here for another 3 or 4 more days. Took us a lot longer to find you than I was hoping.
Well, with any luck, it won't take us very long to make the arrangements. As for as regarding a new warehouse location, so give me your stuff, and I'll find.
Okay, she gives you her contact information. So I bought an Imperial Com, and here's my number.
Okay, excellent. Well, we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
All right, great.
Thanks for coming, Burble.
All right, so Burble goes off and to continue to catch the sights in the reef at this point. It's like, you can hear her mentioning to her friends essentially. So, so you're telling me about a host bar where beautiful mermen basically will wait on you hand and foot for a price. can I get a mani pedi while I'm at it? As she heads
Probably.
off with at least 5 or 6 other like female Sahojans and some burly looking commando looking guys in powered armor.
So nice to have helped make that possible.
It's their Rumspringa.
Yes.
They're just getting ready to go have some fun.
Exactly.
So we need to try and get in contact with the Space Marine Deacon.
Okay.
Yes, I.
So
have
you
sent
go
him.
look over to the other side of the bar. There's a couple Arc Mechanicus guys there. The head engineer isn't there. He only shows up maybe about every 2-3 weeks. But you can suddenly send a message along with one of the Arc Mechanicus engineers that also frequent the Fish Taco.
All right. I will approach them and try to make those arrangements.
Hello, Mr. Haight. Is that right? It's like
That is
you're
correct.
a very unique individual.
I am
So
indeed.
what can we humble engineers do for you?
Well, we need to get a load of orichalcum sent to the Eye of the Storm as per the instructions of your head technician.
See, the high engineer? Yes, of course. So give us a berth and we'll be actually. Why don't we do this? He writes down on a cocktail napkin the time and place that their next shuttle is leaving, essentially the spaceport, and if you can have your shipment here then in about 3 days' time, we can deliver it.
Very well. Can I get your name so that I can thank the head engineer for your help?
My name is Cloutus, son of Cloutus.
Ah, excellent. So Cloutus, son of Cloutus, will make sure that the ore is in the appropriate bay within 3 days.
Wonderful.
And I'll buy him a drink and head back to the group.
Okay, great. So there's more rumors around the bar as you've been here for about a week that those strange noseless, sort of multi-headed, like Hydra things have been popping up in and around town now, basically in the reef. It used to be just like a surface people problem, but now they pop into existence and like devour some people and things, and then disappear again. There's supposedly one of these spots is not too far away from the Fish Taco. There's an old fish oil refinery / cannery that supposedly got almost all the workers supposedly got wiped out recently.
Well, that's
There's no
terrible.
note of pay, however, so all of you are sort of going, making the noise to these rumors.
So who owned the refinery or has anything you'd like to stop with the underboss? Have an interest in this?
Well, if you call up the underboss goes, it's of concern to me that various businesses are getting ransacked by monsters and their workers killed, but this is probably, it's only happening maybe, this is the first time it's happened here. If there's a pattern, then maybe I might have some interest, but for now, I'm not going to issue money for an enforcement action. If you want to look into it, you're more than welcome to. I'll in fact give you my blessing, and you can call upon my name essentially as the underboss for the reef, but right now I'm not issuing any rewards.
Did anybody want to take Oglute's offer on being teleported somewhere?
Well, I think we need to wait
Aunt
until
Luke is saying that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Luke is saying the conjunction, there's going to be a stellar conjunction in this particular planetary system, this particular crystal sphere within about a month's time. So I think I'll be heading off to another dimension at that point from here. I I think the best place where the ley lines are the strongest is perhaps in the Temple of the Leviathan. So I'll be trying to cast my dimensional travel spell there. If you're interested in coming along, follow me along, and I will take you with me. If not, essentially, it's been a pleasure. As Otluk goes off and does whatever Otluk does at this point, and leaves you his contact number in case you have some urgent need.
I think in the short term we need to take care of Ryan's sword before we leave this particular planet, right?
Okay, great enough.
Do we have anything else that we needed to do here on this planet other than take care of the sword? I know Asgul has some interest on Cloudus. Are there any other outstanding loose ends that we need to be taking care of in one place or another?
Not that I know of offhand. Let's see here. There's, of course, actually investigating the Church of the Leviathan, but there's, like, at the same time, there doesn't seem to be a lot of, like, possible reward for doing so, essentially. The Hydras could be associated with the Church of Leviathan. Maybe they're chaos perverted Leviathan spawn or something along those lines. But it's hard to tell without actually looking into it.
That's probably bigger than us at this point. We have the sword to deal with, and then we can potentially take up the teleport offer.
Okay, fair enough. Everybody drop 50 credits for buying basically some storage for the ore, so that Burble can go drop it off for you. So there's fairly large container. We're talking about like 5 by 5 by 5, semi-metallic container that sort of tings when you. It's like it's definitely not metal, but it's maybe it's ceramic or something. You're not quite sure if there's you asked Burbles, like, were you given any instructions? Is auriculum hazardous to handle or something along those? Why is it in such a sturdy container? It's like, I don't know. Other than I know that it's really valuable, so I wouldn't let my eyes off of this stuff. It's probably worth more than you make in a year.
Are we
all
going
of you
to tell
combined.
people that's what that is, or were we going to tell them it was something else?
Can we open the?
I don't suggest you tell them at all what it is. Essentially, is what Burble says to you.
Can we?
So just like store it in a secure spot. But okay, so your choices. Okay, so yes, keypad here. Essentially, she gives you the 10-digit code to open it up.
I want to verify that we have actual ore and not a bomb that we're sending to the Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, that would be prudent.
Just
all right. Okay, so you pop open the container. Let's see here. All right, how many people of you have cybernetics and/or power armor in your group?
I am hate.
Me.
I have power armor.
I have cybernetics.
Okay.
I don't think Mina
that doesn't
does.
count as cybernetics. Strangely enough, that's a divine artifact. So.
Mina doesn't, right? I don't think.
Well, you wear powered armor as a artificer.
Okay.
All right, so everybody in said category, I need you to make a wisdom save.
And you're at +5 if you're within 10 feet of me.
Okay, DC is 15. Asgul, yes, I think you have a mechanical left arm.
Yeah. So,
what's
21?
the DC on this?
15.
9 and okay. Mina's gonna use her first +5 of the night.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to use one of my saving faces.
Okay. All right, there's a burst of EMP as the thing opens up, and everybody's electronics fritzes out for a split second. Some of Hate doesn't suffer a reboot, but like Mina's armor suffers a reboot, and she has to spend like a minute or so basically rebooting it. But there doesn't appear to be actually any permanent damage to the gear. Okay, did anybody actually fail?
You said only taking the wisdom save if you are in power armor or wearing cybernetics.
Cybernetics or power armor or a robot.
Gotcha. Good.
Okay, so that doesn't cover everyone's, I believe. So it's like a lot of your personal gear is basically completely offline at the moment. But yeah, there's this burst of electromagnetic radiation from the box when it's opened, and everybody's electronics fritzes out, and the lights wink out and wink on, and there's some cursing from like the bay over next to you. It's like, is the power out? You see vaguely blue and white glowing ore inside. It's like, yep, that's definitely auriculum. Hate at this point is like, somebody else go dig through that stuff and make sure there's not a bomb in it, because Hate does not have a good impression that something bad is not going to happen when he touches this stuff.
Sounds reasonable.
I will, considering it's my responsibility and all that.
Okay, you dig through it. The cybernetic lower half of your beak essentially like locks up and is like super painful. You're like, ah! as you can feel it tearing away from your jaw as the servos continue to grind and not stop. It's like, as you take 8 points of crushing damage, you're sort of picking through it with a piece of rebar at the moment. It's like, yep, it's just ore in there. But yeah, it is probably dangerous to electronics. So you're gonna have to keep this thing shut for most of the time.
So like that.
So there's everything from like pebble-sized ore to like.
Go ahead.
Say again.
Oh, that ground penetrating sonar stuff that we have probably wouldn't penetrate it because it's so bizarre, right?
It's probably, you don't want to expose sensitive equipment to the auriculum or chalcum. So, i.e., don't pull out the ground scanning radar in the presence of our chalcum, otherwise you will probably burn out the radar immediately.
It won't turn anything on.
Okay, so this super highly magical ore apparently does not play nice with technologies.
So we'll bundle it back up and make sure it gets to the warehouse it needs to go to.
Do we want to put some sort of a disguise on it so it looks like something other than something really unusual?
Sure. We have multiple people that can cast minor illusion, I believe.
Peace.
How long would that last?
I believe minor illusion lasts for 1 minute.
All right. Does someone want to try casting it?
Well,
as a cantrip, you can keep casting it.
Okay. Well, we're talking 3 days, right? I was thinking maybe we
just to get it to the warehouse. After that,
fair enough.
Just put a tarp over it.
Yeah.
Does someone want to test how auriculum interacts with spells, because it's already interacted weirdly with technologies?
Maybe
we cast light on it.
Okay, a blinding white light bursts out, is emanating from the chest at this point, just like, and everybody's going, I can't see, as everybody gets flashlighted for a second, and it's still glowing. Even after you stop concentrating, it's still glowing.
Wow.
It's like, well, shit. It's like anything, magic gets pumped up a lot around auriculum.
So maybe we need to start off with a tarp.
Yep.
I like that idea.
Something that's like recycled, something that nobody wants, recycled clamshells or something.
Okay. You find a tarp and toss it over. Even with a tarp over it, you can still see bright light shining out through the tarp. You're going, maybe 2 tarps? Maybe 2. Okay, 3 tarps later, essentially, it's actually all covered over, and you can only see light shining at the bottom of the tarp now. It's like, so who cast light, by the way?
I did.
Okay. Deershawn, go ahead and make an Arcana roll, or anybody that wants to make an Arcana roll as the guess to how long your light is going to continue to last on this thing.
Can I
10.
assist him on that?
So, let's see here. We're going to say you're more engineering and Deershawn is more actual magic casting. So, let's have Deershawn make the roll.
I got a 10.
10. No idea, but damn if that's not going to be there a long time.
Spells last for a while on this thing. Should I put non-detection
If we put
on it?
non-detection on it, I'm afraid we're never going to be able to find it again.
That's true.
Knowing how this thing is behaving. So, I don't know. Not to assume, but hey, do you have anything, I guess, more important to do over the next 3 days?
No.
How would you feel about standing guard? I make this request loosely.
I got nothing better to do.
And
I would appreciate it. But also,
Okay,
if you have...
anyways, Hate, go ahead and make a wisdom check at this point.
Oh, that was a save, not a check. Let's do a check this time, which is +0. I got a 5. Wisdom is not
Okay.
my game.
Seems okay to you, so...
Yeah, seems like a great idea. Love it.
Okay, 3 days later, you show up in the warehouse. Hate seems to be completely deactivated. Apparently, long-term exposure to Ricculum is, like, bad for robots. But the Ricculum's still there.
I would have given him my doggy the next day.
Okay.
Well,
all right, you check the next day. Hate basically just doesn't, like, eventually Mina, like, boots him back up. It's just like, what? Like, has 3 days passed already? My clock seems to be off. Was I reset?
how are you feeling, Hate? Why don't you do a diagnostics and let's see how you're doing.
I feel like all my radio channels have been reset.
Well, now I feel bad.
Okay, so Hate picks up 2 points of insanity for, like, too much exposure to Ricculum as a robot. So, alright, so
should I
your
see
doggy
the
has no
doggy?
ill effects, basically. It has no ill effects on your doggy, so...
Oh.
I can stand guard over it. Or unless I'm getting mental help from...
No, it really has to do with whether or not you're, like, have electronics or cyberware, or are a robot, in this case, basically.
I was talking about getting rid of the insanity, but...
Oh, getting rid of the insanity. Okay, so... let's see here. Ryan, Tirshan, go ahead and make me an Arcana check, essentially, for your casting of Greater Restoration to get rid of insanity.
19.
Okay.
Better that time.
All right. Okay, and then a Wisdom save for Dredges.
Hold, please. 19.
As you're still seeing bugs wherever you look, so like even though non-existent bugs, essentially.
Great.
Okay, so what's your Wisdom save?
I rolled a 19.
You rolled a 19.
Sweet.
Okay, at the end of the week, you only see bugs here and there. You figure maybe about one or 2 more weeks of not being in insanity-causing situations. Essentially, you should be good.
Are they real bugs or fake bugs?
They're
They could very well just be real
imaginary
insects.
bugs. He sort of sees creepy crawlies all over the place.
No, yes, I remember, but they could just be, they could just be like actual bugs instead of like
I was
imaginary
probably
bugs.
terrified of that crab dude.
Hey,
I
Dredges, can I get your help with something?
We've only gone a couple of days without having like egregious stuff going on, so the thought of going for 2 weeks with no stress,
What do you need, Asgo?
I don't know.
Okay, it's all right. So no one pokes around your container, which you're very happy for, which is like a small stroke of luck, given how badly your luck has gone so far. You show up day of. Does anybody cast more spells on the Reticulum?
At this point, I'm not inclined to. No, thank you.
No.
Can you guys hear me all right? I'm
Yes.
talking
Yes,
through
we
my
can hear you just
Xbox
fine.
headset. Lovely.
Yeah, I think we definitely tarp it and maybe have some other boxes with it that are more distracting, right?
Okay, you pack it. You rent. Okay, so everybody needs to spend 50 credits for the temporary storage, and then
I thought we already
another
did that, didn't we?
what is it, 100, and then another 50 creds for. Well, actually, you have hover bikes, right? So
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, so you basically rig up something between like 2 hover bikes to haul the crate along. It's slow going and very careful piloting, but you manage not to basically dump it into a trench or lose it somewhere along the way. You sort of pilot along and eventually get up to the spaceport area. You're looking at the sort of public holo signs, and you're noticing just like for once your face, some mention of some variation of you is not rolling across the screen with large credit numbers, basically for turning in these people. So you're going, hey, being wanted by the Imperium seems to have gone away. We spent enough long time enough away, essentially from the law, or maybe they gave up on us.
We spent a lot of money too.
We spent a lot of money essentially to submerge our identities. You arrive at the spaceport. The docking bay 5. You notice docking bays 1 through 10 out of the 30 loading docks here are for official Imperium business only. As you see, one of those salt carriers. So it's like big armored shuttles that the Marines sort of favor using. In sort of black and gold, like steadily humming away on the loading pad. There's 2 or 3 more shuttles in other docks between docks 1 through 10. This one seems to be the only one that has engineers at it. The other ones actually have actual Marines that seem to be loading up for bear for something, because they have all sorts of munitions that they're offloading onto the dock and sort of transporting over to what appears to be some sort of civilian craft instead of an imperial naval ship. So you're not quite sure what that's for, but they're obviously headed off to do something. The Cloutus, son of Cloutus, greets you. It's like, well, is that the curriculum? Can I open the box? Can I take a look?
I would appreciate it if you did not. If you weren't aware already, this curriculum, this ore, interferes extremely heavily with anything technology or magic based.
Is this guy cybernetic or wearing power armor?
Yeah, all the engineers are like more than like 25 to 50% like cyberware. There's like they have robotic arms. Minimally, they at least have basically a visible cyber eye that basically replaces part of their eye and skull. So it's like.
And it's a spaceport. I'm sure there's nothing delicate here that needs to still work when we're done,
yes,
right?
it must stay in the box until you have it in a safe space. We learned this the hard way.
Goes and looks at Cloutus, son of Cloutus, and says, I think you can do it, just fine, you'll be okay, and I inspire him and tell him how cool he'll be able to open it without feeling any effects.
Okay.
Oh god.
Cloudus is going, well, about half of you say yes and half of you are saying no, so which is it?
Mina says, no, we're not going to do it here. Someone who understands it at the Eye of the Storm is going to open the box there.
Well, I had heard you had a king's ransom of auriculum, according to the grapevine, but if this box is any indication, well, it is indeed a large amount, and perhaps more than I've seen in my lifetime. But anyways, load it up, boys! As the two other engineers come scooting up, basically with a grab sled, and sort of winch the thing up, basically, and put it on the grab sled, and head into the cargo bay.
Do we get some sort of a receipt for this?
Well, if you want to hang with us just on the ship, we'll be heading out in basically an hour.
I would like to go with them. I would like to be present for this process.
Okay.
Out of
so
curiosity.
you're pretty much sitting you're pretty much nesting on top of the crate, going, it's like, don't come here, don't come near it. It's just like, I know you're curious, don't open this thing. It's like, you see various engineers, Arc Mechanicus adepts basically wandering close, take a look at you,
touching,
wander back away, and as you give them a scowl, Kate takes a seat, and everybody else takes a seat in the various jump seats. Some of you are built particularly weird, like Dregis is like totally not human sized, and Hate is definitely in the same boat. We're just like he's just like well, we're just gonna cargo strap me to the side here. You already know, all of you that have taken the trip before already know that the trip into the Eye of the Storm is extremely rough, and you want to be heavily strapped in, seat belted in, otherwise you're going to take a trip, essentially, around the cargo bay, head first.
If that's your thing, go ahead. Otherwise, I advise you get strapped in.
No, because I think last time Uzkul came loose and hit a bunch of us, and there was bludgeoning damage, right? So
yeah,
I think we want to make sure everybody's belted in.
How long is this trip?
The trip is roughly about 3 hour shuttle ride, so eventually you have to come back into the... you go out of the atmosphere, come back into the atmosphere. Eventually, you have to head through the Eye of the Storm, which is sort of the standing hurricane around the Tower of the Storm, which is the rough part of the ride.
I'll get strapped.
Okay, so all right, so you all strap in. The Cloutus, son of Cloutus, sort of sits directly next to you guys. So, is what I hear true? They're going to try to forge an artifact. The High Engineer has agreed to try to forge an artifact for you, equivalent to one of the Storm Swords?
Yes.
You don't look like a big dude. The Storm Swords are usually like 9 feet tall, essentially.
This is why it is custom made. It is more akin to something that your chaplain might use.
Oh, I see. Well, our chaplain's a big dude. It's like... You already know the chaplain is just another space marine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but it is magical in nature, and of course, more for my size. Hopefully, all the pieces are in place.
All right. Well, I doubt we're going to need all of that ore, but thank you for acquiring it. I'm sure
consider it an offer of goodwill at the very least.
Great. So he continues to just blather on about random stuff, arcano magic engineering. The stars, astrology. Have you been to the capital planet? Do you entertain him, or do you just tune him out at some point?
I'll entertain him,
I think Mina's probably going to be giving him a bunch of questions. She's very interested in the engineering there at the Eye of the Storm. She's probably asking all kinds
roll
of
a
stuff.
D20. Okay, Mina's one of those talky, chatty Cathy type of people, so it's like, go ahead and roll a D20 for me, higher's better, to see if she drops any useful information.
Okay,
Ooh. I'm giving you natural 20.
Ask him about Cloudus.
You are talking to Cloudus at the moment. He's...
Mina rolled a 4, so I guess she didn't get anything.
You get at least the obvious basic information. Do
you have inspiration?
Supposedly, Cloutus, son of Cloutus, is a noble-born scion of the imperial planet Cloutus. So he's like the 10th born son, essentially, of the imperial family that rules there. That doesn't mean anything, unfortunately. He's happy to note that. He's unfortunately notes to you this doesn't mean anything. I don't have any particular bonds to the family, or it doesn't give me any particular stature as far as standing in a noble house. But it's interesting. Cool. But I've heard recent rumors that that Cloudus has been hit hard by a Tyranid swarm meteorite that hit the. Well, actually, it was a full-on colony ship that crashed into the planet and released a Tyranid swarm onto the eastern continent. And there's ongoing battles in Cloudus right now for being a planet so deep inside the Imperial core. This is worrying.
Indeed, it is.
If we needed help from somebody on Cloudus, could you give us a letter of introduction?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So here he scribbles something on a data pad and shoots it over to your data pad. Here's my personal Imperial seal. You can use it to talk to my father, Claudius the First.
Thank you very
If
much.
anything, we want to go and help. We were at Cloudus a few months ago, and pretty nice place.
It is a nice place. It's like I definitely like going to the rollerball arena in.
Was I can't say for certain the Tyranids left it in one piece, unfortunately.
Well, the southern continent is away from the main hive city, but we shall see. Essentially,
fingers crossed.
Tyranid have a way of burrowing in, basically showing up again even after they've been exterminated. So,
Surely the Imperium.
It's an ongoing battle right now. There's supposedly a full hive queen there and everything. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping they'll just burn the southern continent with nuclear fire and hopefully get rid of them that way. We'll find out. Might affect summers in the next to the equator for a while though.
So that it didn't hit the eastern continent; it hit the southern continent. The ship
it hit the southern continent, and the northern continent is where the sort of main imperial hub city is, and in fact, it takes up most of the northern continent. Okay, so it's like pilots are calling back. Everybody, strap in. We're heading back into the atmosphere. It's like final warning. When the red lights on, basically everybody better be strapped in. Otherwise, you're taking a ride. As you hear static cut out at the end. Like okay. So I need I guess if everybody's strapped in, I just need con saves.
See if this comes through on there.
Okay, and what's the DC on that?
DC is 15.
1.
15? Okay,
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
Mina got a 19, Trans got a 20, and Trans you're showing 11. In the game log. Cool.
Alright, it's just not showing in Discord. How do I make it show in Discord?
You have to, I think, link your Avray and the D&D Beyond.
Check. Lawrence, if somebody breaks free, let me know.
I got an 11.
Okay. So Asgul has his head violently rocked forward and back into the bulkhead, and he's unconscious in his chair at the moment, like he's been knocked out cold.
Not from damage, just from concussion.
That's from concussion, yes. It's like Hate is wondering if we shouldn't put Asgul in a padded box on these types of trips.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea, in all things considered.
Okay. All right. So the ship violently rocks back and forth. There's howling winds that seem to flow through the cabin. You're going, but this is a space vehicle. How the frick is that even possible? There's whistling and there's all sorts of metal creaking as the whole ship basically violently rocks up and down like a bronco mechanical bull. As all of you get bruised for 5 points of damage just from bouncing against a restraint, Asgul didn't basically keep his neck stiff enough and whacked his head against a bulkhead and appears to be unconscious at the moment. You'll have to check him when he arrives. Eventually, it calms down after about 30-40 minutes of this very rough treatment, and eventually becomes smooth sailing again as you can continue to hear wind sounds flowing through the cabin, which is did we bust a leak or something? And maybe about 20 minutes later, you can hear over the comms the pilot call outs "Welcome to Tower of Storms. We'll be landing in 10 minutes." Essentially, do not get up out of your seats. As the seatbelt lights are still on at this point. You come to a sort of rough, sort of skiddy landing as you can hear metal scraping on metal, and eventually the back drop deck shoots down with a loud boom. Some ugly-looking blue and white space wolves, space marines come in look you all over. With some Arc Mechanicus individuals who are all scanning everybody for God knows what, not exactly sure what. And Cloudus is like, yeah, don't worry about it. This new security procedure. There's apparently been chaos infiltrators in the spire lately, coming in with tourists. So don't mind them. Essentially, I'm sure all of you are perfectly fine. Asgul, who cannot speak for himself at this point, people roll wisdom checks to recall if who among you actually has chaos artifacts on them.
A wisdom check, you said, right?
Yes.
About chaos?
I did a
Except for
17.
Asgul. Asgul is KO'd at the moment.
Okay. Mina's got a 15.
I got a 17 straight.
I did a wisdom save, but it's the same modifier. Can I keep my 19?
Sure.
No.
What's the wisdom for?
The wisdom is to recall because Asgul actually has actual chaos artifacts on him at the moment, and there was no attempts to basically hide them at the moment. So, unless something is done, they're gonna probably pick up Asgul at this point and implicate the rest of you as chaos operatives here in maybe about a minute, because they're finishing up scanning the crew and the engineers right now.
I think the last time we had an opportunity to
my
study
head
that
a
stuff
chaos
Go ahead.
Isn't my eye a chaos artifact?
It might be. It might. As Cloudus, son of Cloudus, states this to you, it's like, don't worry about it. If we don't have chaos artifacts, it won't be a problem. It's like Dragon's going, well, shit. Well, shit.
I have a 17.
Okay, so some of you realize immediately that Asgul still has the Insanity
Right.
Blaster on him, and Dredgis's like crystal eye may or may not basically be a blessing from a Chaos Daemon. So
Okay, so as I recall, we thought that being in a interdimensional storage, like a bag of holding, would not help with the scan because they can see it.
you tossed it into interdimensional storage before, and it seemed to have worked just fine. So as far as passing muster with scans, they may. And it also depends on whether or not they detect the interdimensional storage or not, because it's a relatively rare item to have, so they may not be able to pick up on it. So,
Does Asgul have any interdimensional? Does he have a bag of holding?
I don't know. Do you, Asgul?
I haven't been able to purchase one now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the only merchant that actually had it was the Ham, basically space hamster guy.
Is all magic considered chaos, basically, in this? Or is that...
No, not at all. So there's Imperial Psychers, and so, yeah. So there's approved forms of magic by the Imperium, and there's disapproved versions of magic by the Imperium.
Essentially, if you think
if you are a wild magic sorcerer, for instance, then they might look at you with like side eye. But
so we're basically at the terminal waiting for them to check everybody so we can go in, right?
Yes, and just like,
is there an opportunity for us to go to the lockers and
someone has already realized that Asgul has. You probably need to stow Asgul's gun.
Yeah, I'm searching his body for his pistol. I pretend. Can I make like a deception check first to fool the sleight of hand check as a medicine check?
It doesn't matter. You can just do a medicine check because he's unconscious at the moment, so you have to check him out anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. And in the process of checking him out, I want to find the insanity pistol that I know he's fond of using, and stow it in the dimensional storage I have.
Okay, fine. You stow the pistol in dimensional storage. He just has it sort of tucked into his belt behind his.
Yeah, and then medicine check. Oh, 11. Okay. I rolled a 1.
While he's doing this, Trance gets up and starts singing a song about wolves.
Yeah, you try some smelling salts, and Asgul is still not coming awake. As you sing a song about wolves,
about the awesome space wolves and how they fight the tyrannid evil and will protect all of us and how amazing they are, and cheer, and trying to get everybody to go at it.
Mina will join in, and she's off key but enthusiastic.
So you distract Team Marines and inspection crew as the as the Space Marines like tromp up to you, they're like 9 feet tall warriors in powered armor. And they're going like, oh, it's like, Scald, you are very good. Essentially, you must come to the halls and entertain us. As they grab him bodily and take him away.
Jukebox.
I sing as I go. Toss a coin to your white wolf. Oh, Valley of Plenty. I'm gone. Okay, this will be fun. All right.
Okay, so Dreadness, if you want to sneak around while this distraction is happening and not get scanned by the engineers who are scanning for Chaos Taint, you may want to do that now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like either sneak out or just like hide behind.
Okay, so either deception or stealth, whichever is better for your character.
Probably stealth.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Roll 13.
Okay, no problem. It's so I just need 11. So you sneak out down the ramp while nobody's looking and sort of stand with the already scanned people, as everybody else goes through scanning, and it's like, rough trip for your friend there?
We came recently from the depths of the planet. Down there, he got hit with an unfortunate coral curse by one of the Sahojan mages.
Well, we don't detect any chaos taint on him, so he's clear to go, and so are you.
Mm-hmm. He's still himself. Luckily, he's just looking a little worse for wear, unfortunately.
Well, it looks like he got a bit bad whack to the head. Essentially, are you sure you don't want to go by the medbay?
I've actually looked him over myself, and I will like show my credentials as like an official medic. And
okay, so you are all right. So you show your cleric credentials. Haha. Here's Sean, cleric and storm. All right,
I've looked him over myself
did you actually cast any healing on Asgul, because that's the normal way of getting people away?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Have I? Oh, I did not realize. Okay, yes, I would absolutely do that. I will give him a 2nd level cure wounds. 2 seconds, please.
Okay, fine. Asgul, you are down. You're down. What is it? 8 hit points from your max, essentially. By the time you get woken back up again.
Yep. Like I'll pump 13 hit points.
He comes awake after you cast the healing spell on him. His eyes are like. He definitely has a bad concussion. His eyes basically aren't reacting his pupils aren't reacting at the same rate, but he's awake now.
I have 8 remaining hit points.
How many fingers am I holding up?
I'm saying you're down 8 hit points from max, essentially.
So, yeah, so just take 8 damage if you're at full health.
All right.
Okay. You arrive. Okay, you arrive in the main. You arrive at the sort of main touristy entrance hall to the Tower of Storms. A huge 30-foot statue of the Primarch of the Space Wolves sits at one end, guarding the entrances to the vestibules that various people come to worship at the. Worship the Emperor, the God Emperor of Man. There's, to those of you who are non-human, you still find it extremely weird how humans worship. They just sort of go up to a little weird telephone booth thing full of like religious iconography and effectively try to talk to God through the phone. And you're going, like,
that's
why do you have statues and icons like normal freaking religions?
Normal religion isn't a fucking oxymoron if I've ever heard one.
Yes.
Well, but everybody thinks their religion is normal.
Tearshot is definitely a non. Tearshot is definitely a non-traditionalist. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Like the way the Empire does it is weird. I've studied the texts of what the Emperor wrote. He's like, he wants everyone to be logical. That's why I study science and not just heresy.
But we're not going to say that here.
No, of course not. I still worship the Emperor. He was like.
Do they expect that we're going to go and use the little phone booth?
No, not at all. I'm saying some of you have actually tried to use the God phone here before.
I think I did last time, and I rolled a 69, so I was, but I was willing to take a bullet.
Yes. Okay, so all right. So there's the various God phones that are available. Should you wish to try to basically state your penance and/or prayer to the Emperor, God Emperor of Man. The Space Marines just like, You are with this skull, are you not? You should come with us. It's just like, as they point at you, lot who are just sort of like milling about near the center of the large entrance hall.
I'll be sticking as closely as I can to Cloudus and the rest of the engineering technicians. Well, actually, no. I'm going to go over to one of the booths first and try and say a prayer to the Emperor to see if he's...
roll percentage check.
38. I assume
Okay.
this is like divine intervention, and that's a fail.
That is a fail. Nothing but it's like, as an alien, you should be subservient to the wishes of man, and that is that you get your fortune cookie basically response for out
Here,
of it.
might as well do it now. I'm going to use one of my my only divine intervention. 90.
Okay, you needed to go the other way.
Yeah, I know.
All right, like, we're sorry, but you cannot reach the God Emperor at this time.
All right. I mean, not many other times I'm going to try and use my divine intervention, so might as well try it here.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so you're quickly the Cloudus, son of Cloudus, says, "All right, we'll take good care of your curriculum, and I'll have the high engineer get in touch with you as soon as he can. He's a very busy man, but he should be able to meet you within the hour. In the meantime, I take advantage of the Space Marines invite to the mead hall.
Yes, yes, I would
Warriors.
very much.
It's not often that guests get invited in there.
I would very much come and sing along and join in the merriment. I'm not against this. A good bit of merriment helps from time to time.
Okay. You arrive at what appears to be like a high-tech version of a Viking long hall. There's like, there seems to be like all the colonnades that sort of like join up in the steeple of the roof are sort of like seem to be like stylized bones of some huge creature, and the sort of top ridge of the ceiling likewise seems to be stylized. Bones of some creature. It could actually be the bones of some gargantuan creature given Space Marines, but who knows? Maybe it's just an architectural style. Seated at a table of honor is the chaplain and two other esteemed and like Marines with all sorts of honors festooned all over their armors. They're all kind of old. They're all gray beards with like beards that are like hang way past their belly button. Just like a Viking mead hall, there's just like there's raucous laughter. There's musicians about all over the place. There's no women, but this is a military installation after all. But
no girls
huge
allowed.
Bunches of like some roasted meat of some critter you don't recognize are like piled high on the tables, and with a little bit of fruit and vegetables sort of like scattered in between on the sides in small dishes. Like, Scald, perform for us. It's like roll performance check.
All right. Well, if I may, is Mage Hand heretical? I'm just making sure I'm not creating it.
No, casting spells is not heretical, essentially.
Okay,
so
because I'm going to use my telekinetic mage hand in a second. Is there any training swords anywhere?
Oh, you need a sword. It's like, for such a puny individual such as this here, you can take my dagger. He pulls out a dagger and hands it to you. You try to pick it up.
As I begin to
basically
sing,
like a full-size long sword.
As I begin to sing the ballad of the Tyranid destruction, I cast, first of all, I inspire myself, because I go, I can do it. And then I begin singing about a time when the wolves destroyed a Tyranid hive, and I perform with a minor illusion to show a Tyranid, a gene stealer, coming and slashing, and then that hand, as I cast Invisible Mage Hand, floats up and begins slashing and destroying all of my illusions as I sing and dance.
All right.
And so
we're gonna at advantage because this is right up the Space Marines alley. They love this sort of shit. They love this.
Ooh,
this one's my favorite.
It's a saga.
All right, and I'm gonna add my inspiration to that at that's an 8. So
That's
32.
Good.
Sweet.
Okay, so there we go.
Damn!
So it's like a saga for the ages, huzzah! It's like as they all.
Oh, I think we lost.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's see.
He was getting into that description too. I wanted to hear how cool I was.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be back in a minute, but he is.
He celebrated so hard he disconnected his voice.
Yeah, he's still showing in Discord channel, but he doesn't have a mic, and he disappeared video as well. So let's see.
I just disconnected.
Okay, he'll come back in. It'll be okay.
I've been wanting to use that the telekinetic mage hand for so long. I'm so glad I got to use that in a performance.
Can you hear us, Lawrence? Okay. Is there anything we want to plot while he's gone?
No, because he's just muted himself and he's listening to see what we do.
No, I don't see him mute, but.
I mean, what do we know about space wolves besides they're absolutely terrifying?
That's about it. They like lightning and storms, and they
War.
technically stick to themselves for the most part. They're kind of secluded.
Power Medicut.
I am like a Xeno in their great hall, like singing and dancing about them killing Xenos, and I'm like,
You're
idea.
yes, you're kind of that's what the entire Arc Mechanicus chapter is they're Xenos, but acceptable Xenos that do stuff that we like, so we tolerate them. So if you're doing stuff that they like and aren't being heretical, they are probably cool. Especially these guys that are so far separated from most of the chapters of Space Marines that are like mostly active and mostly receiving orders from like higher ups that are still like around and interpreting the Emperor's will possibly incorrectly.
nice.
So like they're just more just like chilling out, doing their own thing, doing what the Emperor told them to do last he was still here. Because that's what I understand.
They've been still going out and doing some missions, though, and we think that they're kind of down in their numbers right now, but the chaplain's here and there's 2 other senior guys, so we want to be nice to them. And when we talked to the high engineer the last time, apparently he generally gets angry at everybody, and then sometimes they have to run for it. But we managed to make a good impression, so we're going to want to try and do that again this time.
No, that was the chaplain.
Was that the chaplain? That wasn't the high engineer?
Yeah. No, the high engineer was like, he's the one that gave us the tour and was like, you got really buddy-buddy with him.
Yeah, he was really nice. The chaplain was...
Well, the chaplain we managed to hate, I think it was hate, retold the story of our assault on Hades sector, and like, he was really fond of that, so...
We made some rolls too. I think there was we were dropping something on the. I don't know. Oh yeah, were we collecting air from him to scry?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was. I just remember there being some dicey moments, and the people that saw us go in were really surprised when we came out. And I think he shook our hands so vigorously we all took some bludgeoning damage.
That does sound like something that happened. Yes.
We've got a lull. Does somebody know the command to have
Aubrey
show my dice in the Discord?
I think it's update or sing.
No, you have to link it up first. So hang on, Aubrey.
I linked it.
Tree knows
it.
Tree knows way more about this than I do.
It's !beyond and then your character link.
I make my own macros, so.
Yeah, so you go into D&D Beyond and you click that update, and then that'll give you the link to drop into it.
Cut to Lawrence's house. He's just narrating, and
then you have to confirm it with a yes, or is it just a Y? So
okay.
Because it looks like it said it was unconfirmed and aborting.
Yeah. I see what I did.
Do you hear a car horn?
Power cut out.
Beep, 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 beep.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself then because there's definitely restlessness.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, I was kidding.
Computer crashed. I don't know what happened there. Okay, can everybody hear me?
Hi, Lawrence.
Yes,
Yep.
we can. That's
Really?
awesome.
Is he talking?
The last thing you
Yes.
left off on was you celebrated too hard. You celebrated so hard you crashed your computer.
Yes, apparently. All right, so
And
the
then if you can come back
Space
in on
Marine
the-
comes up, comes up to Francis, like slams a 2-liter mug of ale into his chest, splashing ale over him for 8 points of crushing damage. Just like you're going, "Ugh!"
And if
you have earned your keep, Scald. You may enter these halls at any time while you are visiting.
if you can come in on the video too, Lawrence, I'll put you back in.
Okay, great.
So see, you may be a Xeno, but they're a Xeno that they like.
Okay, so speaking of a Xeno that you like, so you pick up an inspiration for entertaining the Space Marines. So
Yeah.
use this for a reroll at any time you like.
All
so,
of us are just trance. Just wanted to
Just
clarify.
trance.
Got it.
I'll take it.
You inspired yourself so hard you got another inspiration.
Yeah, but it's a reroll inspiration.
Right.
You can get it's a luck point basically. All right, so we're essentially partying until the engineers are ready.
Are there
Right,
any
I
other?
think.
Are there any of the other like regular engineers that Mina could like try and corner and ask for information? She's like really fascinated by a lot of the engineering here.
Not in the main hall itself. This is only for the Marines. So
Okay. Can't blame a girl for trying.
all right. The chaplain at this point is motioning you over. The
Who
lot
is
of you.
Okay.
We saunter over.
I will.
I see you've returned.
I will bow and give
picked
a
up,
low rumble of
your
thunder.
group seem to have picked up more Xenos, which I do not approve of, but like we shall see.
They are
You
useful,
prove your worth,
friendly.
basically. That is all that matters to the Space Marines.
Mm-hmm. They're useful, friendly, and not hostile. I see no qualms with them.
I speak of you as well, Xeno. As he looks pointedly at your shine. You're also not human.
I will give a low rumble of thunder in disagreement.
You are blessed by the storm, and that is what makes you acceptable here. Bless you.
Godzilla.
So, like, speak your name, Dragonborn. Who are you?
Dredges. Pleasure to meet you. And I just kind of like bow awkwardly, like not really knowing what the formal code is here around here.
There's no bowing or kneeling in the Marine quarters. You'd be well to basically keep your head high around here, unless you be seen as a servant. And what about you, Bard? Where do you hail from? So, Trance, what race are you, by the way?
He's a tiefling, but no horns. He's got the full-on devil tail, but I keep it wrapped up around my waist because it scares me. He's just a red-skinned.
Do you actually have Daemon heritage, or are you just a variant of a human, essentially? So, which one do you want to be? Because those are both options in this campaign.
Well, it's a Levestis heritage tiefling, so I would imagine it's demonic heritage.
So you actually have a Daemon heritage. Okay, got it. All right. So in that case, essentially, the chaplain doesn't address you at all. He just simply gives you an unapproving glare at this point.
It's like, what the fuck is this heresy in my hall? But you're useful heresy, so we like to keep you around.
No,
anyway.
you've just performed and shown that you're worth to the Space Wolves. So he's going to tolerate your presence at this point.
Like everyone else likes you. So
What brings you back to these hollowed halls, basically in this eye of the storm?
we have a large deposit of auriculum. I have brought what was needed for the forging of this artifact.
You brought more of the holy metal.
I do not know how
Then,
much is needed. Anything excess you are allowed to keep. I do not know what we would do with it, and it is volatile to keep around.
Indeed, all the holy metal belongs in his Imperial God's armory.
Hopefully
So
that
how
got
long
me
will you be staying with us?
until the weapon is forged? How long will that take?
Well,
We
the
hope to stay
priests
out of the
have
way.
never been one to basically hurry things along, though I wish they
course.
would. So I'd say a month or more At that time, you have my dispensation to stay here within the chapel, because I assume essentially there's a huge investment involved with the curriculum. So even
massive.
getting it here.
Massive, frankly. So, if anything, I will try to help out as much as I can around, either with the ritual itself or just around the spire. Help out where I can. Try to remain just inconspicuous, helpful.
Yeah, the chaplain, who's already a big dude, basically points at an unarmored individual. Squire, come over here. As the squire stands up, he's still a space, like one of those improved humans. Like, he's still the size of an ogre. He's like 9 feet tall. He has a tiny pinhead. It's like, Squire! Young Squire, help these individuals basically to their quarters and see that they are trained in the ways of the tower for the month that they are here.
I would go along with this wholeheartedly. I can't speak for anyone else, but this is my type of shit.
Mina's good with this, and she'd like to offer any engineering assistance that they might need with any of her expertises.
Your head engineering may prove useful. You may talk to the high engineer.
Thank you very much.
I would offer any heavy lifting assistance they need, but like I don't know how much more they would need of that since they're Space Marines.
You may be a Xeno, but at least you look like a warrior. There are training halls. There are training halls both for the mental and physical all throughout the tower. The page will show you the way.
Kate will ask to train with the Space Marines for a month.
Okay, very good. All right, so you head off and basically, so these are the various options, menu of things you can do within the tower. You can train with the Space Marines, in which case, essentially, you'll get some temporary martial benefit for doing so. If you're an engineer or a spellcaster of some sort, you can likewise get some sort of temporary boost to your skill. And if you're an entertainer, Trance, you're continued to be called back to the mead hall, essentially, to honor the heroes. You continue to be called back to the mead hall to honor the heroes of the Space Wolves as they hand you books and books of basically
so I'm writing ballads.
Music that apparently they don't have any musicians within the Space Wolves, so they're just like, and they're one of the few sources of entertainment that they're allowed by the chaplain.
Like I said, secluded.
Free bird.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I've got the time, I'm gonna write some new ballads of the Space Wolves. I'm probably like casting hypnotic pattern around me while dancing.
If you want to take the month basically to write a new epic,
yes,
you write your own basically Edda to the Space Wolves. I would need a. Let's see, what should we use there? Let's use charisma plus proficiency for songwriting, I guess.
That would be.
You need to make 3 rolls. Your DC is 18. You need to succeed on at least 2 of them.
And if you really want to do this, right, you just got that inspiration too.
You said what was the DC?
18.
It's 18. So you failed so far. You need 1 more success. So you need to start using inspirations.
I'll go ahead.
You can't use bardic inspiration on this because this is like a long duration thing, essentially over the course of a month.
So I got 1 more. Yeah, there, it's 24.
Okay, very good. All right, perfect. So you use up an inspiration point, and you're good. Yeah. All right. Inside of a month, you have a very passable Edda to the honor of the Space Wolves and their many victories as you sort of look over their histories. So you figure you perform it essentially at this supposedly monthly feast that is welcoming back the Primarch of the Space Wolves when he arrives back from his victorious conquering of a Tyranid swarm in the Outer Rim. So.
When I sit down and like talk to people, I'm also trying to find like a set of armor or something like kind of that I can wear, some sort of light stuff.
Okay, so
they have any like spares.
So you're best off talking to the engineers because all the Space Marines is like, there is only the armor we wear. The armor of God is like as they there's this like tap that basically like probably 2-inch, 3-inch thick plate, like powered armor plate that they wear essentially. This is the brightest part of the Imperial. This is the only armor that we should ever need, and we should ever wear, and you should too. As they tried to basically convince you that you should wear like Space Marine powered armor, and you're just like, I don't know about that. I don't even know if I could stand up in one of those things.
Do they have anything that they've salvaged from their battles?
You eventually, it's like lesser armors. Why would we salvage such worthless trinkets? We salvage the head of our enemies and put them on pikes, and when those rot away, we throw them into the sea. You're going, yeah, that sounds about right. You eventually start trailing around with Mina, who's like talking to the engineers who will actually wear light armor, and they're going, "Oh yeah, let's see here. Are you looking for like nano-infused cloth, some sort of like semi-rigid powered armor? What are you looking for?"
Nano-infused cloth would be nice.
All right. So powered or non-powered? Powered armor, powered cloth is will stop more attacks, but essentially it has a it has a duration. So you've got about an hour on the power cell before it's spent and just becomes normal cloth armor again.
Just regular, just the I don't know.
So nano weave it is. So they one of the engineers, Cloudus, is actually happy to help you out, and is like, he takes your measurements, and it's like, all right, let's see here. I think we have some spare suits here. You got 500 creds?
Yes.
All right, so he fetches you a nano suit of like essentially ballistic, like a ballistic mesh armor, and he goes, all right, so this ballistic mesh armor is good for like probably light small arms and light las gun fire. So it gives you base AC of 13.
Okay. Plus whatever your dex is, right? It's that type of light armor?
Yes. All right, so he goes, all right. I hope that serves you in good stead.
13 plus dex? That ain't bad.
No, that isn't bad at all.
As far as light armor goes.
Yeah. All right, so
So Mina has been looking to upgrade her lightning launchers to maybe a +1 of something. Would the engineers have anything that would help me with that?
In the most condescending and insulting way they can, it's like, this peasant engineering essentially is very very innovative. As Tree in the back of her mind is go, fuck you too. Basically, I came from the Imperial College.
No, it's okay. Everybody has their own religion of engineering too. I'm used to it.
Yes. They take a look over it. It's like, well, are you sure you wouldn't be interested in just using these lightning launchers tend to be relatively short range. Are you sure you wouldn't be interested in a plasma gun or a blaster rifle? Or a bolt gun, perhaps. Your powered armor looks like up to the task of using a bolt gun.
Do you want to shoot Pepsi cans at people?
I like to have ranged attacks. I'm kind of squishy. I completely trust you as Marines for what you find most useful. So if you think about
the engineers are basically like all about their. These engineers are basically attached to a Marine unit, so they're all about like creating, like getting you the biggest gun that you can possibly wield. So, it's whether or not you want to fight that urge, basically, and still have something that resembles something that looks like a small arm versus a cannon.
I like to still be able. I like to still be able to walk around, but if it's something I could shove in my bag of holding when I wasn't like using it, then sure, I could go for something big, right?
Or you could even Iron Man it into your armor and just like pop it out.
I could like have part of my thigh armor that pops open, and I pull the gun out, right?
You pull out various pieces of armor, or you could be like, or you could basically be like. What is it? Dead shots, and basically put your gun together from parts on your person. Okay, so
that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so they take you to the munitions the shooting range, and like they eventually try to upsell you on selling you on the bolter, the lightest bolter possible, which is a bolter pistol. And it's just like, it still looks like a grenade launcher in your hands. It's just like, I'm going.
And what's the range on that?
Explosive bolt munitions, 100, probably not super accurate at long range, probably more of a mid-range weapon, basically, but rip through armor like nobody's business.
So like 90 feet, 60 feet?
So you're looking at probably about 60 feet short range,
So it's armor piercing.
As they demonstrate and blow up a mannequin, basically, because it looks like a grenade hit it. It's just like a bam!
When these things need to take down Tyranids, yeah, they need to perform like that.
That sounds like I could use that. I don't really have any really heavy-duty stuff. I just have kind of, carry-around stuff. That sounds like fun.
Well, if you'd be interested in, we do have these bolter pistols available. So they're most of the other munitions of this grade are really intended for Space Marines to wield, which means you'd have to be the size of a Space Marine. But we could sell you one of these spares for 1,000 credits.
Okay, sure. That would
we
be
also
lovely.
have hate to carry stuff around, not to pack mule him or anything, but like he would be one of the few people capable of actually like holstering the munitions.
But Hate's usually busy doing stuff. I'm gonna make him carry stuff.
That too.
He's not my mother. I'm not gonna make him carry stuff, right?
Other way around.
Okay, so it shoots one shot per round, like 66 damage. 66 damage in a 10-foot radius. So, effectively, it is a grenade launcher. You figure you get
and it's a plus to hit.
A loading mechanism. You're looking at it. The loading mechanism isn't particularly super efficient, so you could probably get the cycle time up to where you could fire two shots per round. If you did some work on it, but that's what the base weapon does.
Okay, and that's a +1 weapon, you think, or
+1 to hit, yes.
Okay.
And other than that, it does 66 damage.
Okay.
Plus dex. That's if you actually try to hit somebody with the grenade. Otherwise, you can just force them to make a save by dropping the grenade in their general area.
That's true.
You could force them to roll into something. That's what grenades are good for, breaking things out of cover.
Yes. Okay, so you effectively have a grenade launcher at this point.
I like it. Thank you very much, Space Marines.
Right.
Well,
hey, you have enough munitions. What is it? Let's say they give you, 10 rounds worth of munitions for this thing.
Okay, and is it something like if I take some of it apart that I could probably make more if I needed to?
The munitions don't look particularly hard to make, but you would have to basically get high explosives for the grenade. So it's like, whether or not it would save you anything, it's like mainly the main cost isn't basically the triggering mechanism, it's the high explosives that you basically have to put into the round. So
okay.
Like, you could probably save yourself maybe about like 20% off of like retail if you could find high explosives to make the shell and just case them in the shells yourself.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking if we get off somewhere and I run out of ammo, it's not going to do me any good unless I can buy more ammo or unless I can make it myself.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want the pieces, parts, the craft bits, essentially, you're going to have like spare metal shells, housings, like fusing, and high explosives. So
okay. Which we could find at one of these, maker fairs that we go to, right?
Yes. That's perfectly possible in any of the bazaars you've gone to. You can certainly find high explosives on the black market, though it's not openly available for sale. Because
you got to hunt for it, but it's out there.
Yeah, because we'll burn through 10 ammo in a couple of weeks, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Like a couple of days. These things are fun to use.
Are the technicians able to take Hate's chainsword and upgrade its damage potential in any way?
They suggest, well, if you're willing to leave your sword with us, we might be able to use some of that auriculum to make it a lightning weapon, like most of the Stormwolves gear. The engineers basically do warn you The lightning swords, unfortunately, are temperamental beasts. You're gonna have to keep it well maintained, lest it malfunction.
Well, I travel with a bunch of mechanics, so it should be good.
Okay, well, if that's the case, essentially, then you probably shouldn't have any problem. So, would you wish to leave your sword with us?
We're here for a month,
Certainly.
so
A lightning sword.
Okay. All right, so
Now
you can
it's
get
a-
an extra D4 of lightning damage added to your.
now it's a
weapon.
chain lightning sword.
Chain
Yeah.
lightning sword.
And lightning sword. Sweet.
Okay, so the all right, and since you already have an internal power core, they basically just like it. It has to be wired to your hand, sort of deal. So,
So I have a plug.
since I think you're probably using it that way, anyways, instead of using power packs, anyways.
Yeah, I have a smart
right.
gun system.
Yeah, it's like one of those, where you pull off part of your arm and then change the attachment and stick it on, right?
No, it's more along the lines of
know.
he has like power contacts on his hand.
Oh, okay. So he's got to plug in his hand and he plugs it in. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so all right, so general training. Let's see. You have a floating pool of D4s that you can add to rolls. You have 3 of these essentially for both the casters and the martial people for training with the Space Marines for about a month. It's about the 3rd week in. The training is grueling. All of you are tired all day long. Hate's battery is spent basically about. He has to like recharge twice during the day. It's like, but he is picking up the techniques, as it were. It's like the Space Wolves, if nothing else, are a wealth of combat information. They are good at their job. You cannot spend more than one of these D4s per round, however, so you can't dump them all in one round. So,
And you said we have 3 of them per long rest?
no, you have 3 of them. Period. Total.
Oh, okay.
You just spend them however you want, just like inspiration points. So,
Okay.
all right. Let's see here, and it mainly is more focused towards combat. So if you're in the middle of a combat, you feel more free to use them. Or if you need to shoot really accurately. But if you're needing to defuse a bomb, this is probably not it.
Okay.
Space Wolves will probably just try and destroy the bomb themselves.
Space Wolves is like, if it cannot be destroyed with power claws, it cannot be done. That is the Space Wolves way.
Hey, Lawrence,
Yes.
can Asko look around? He's trying to get maybe like a recon scope.
So, there is a scouting group essentially as part of the engineers. They're small. You eventually find them. It's just like they don't get much work because the Space Wolves don't believe in scouting, but they still try to do their job nonetheless. They're going, well, are you looking for a scope for your weapon, or are you just looking for a monocle or good set of binoculars?
Yeah, a good set of binoculars.
Okay, well, we use these. These are Imperial surplus. The Space Wolves never splurge for good gear for us. There are some chapters that actually have good scouting divisions. Unfortunately, we're not one of them. So Imperial surplus, 250 creds. I can sell it to. Has a marker function, so you can mark all your targets essentially and laze them as well. Essentially, if you actually have smart munitions. So the not that smart. There's not many smart munitions left at this point. It's like I think the last time I saw basically anybody go in without it and actually had a smart bomb, it was like north of 5,000 creds or something. So just that stuff just seems to get rarer and rarer over time. But anyways, the marker function, he shows you how to use it, so you can view stuff through the scope, take pictures, and mark its actual location and relative position to your position. So good, generally good for scouting. Essentially, scouting enemy positions. It also has an infrared function, so you could see in low light conditions or even in pitch black conditions.
Nice.
Some sort of Tyranid camouflage can also be seen through IR vision as well, so some may be useful for that as well. and here's and I'll throw this in for free. Here's a smoke grenade. Smoke grenades have gotten me out of plenty of like rough situations before. So,
well, thank you. I will.
Well, one got to another. It's like your Aardwolf, by the way. It's like haven't seen one in a while. Everything around here is some sort of fishy monstrosity, and they smell bad. So
he's not wrong.
He was a fishy monstrosity for a few weeks.
Well, that happens. It's like, yeah, you use what you got, right? Essentially, it's like whatever is available in the field. All right, so it's about 3 weeks in. You're in your various training. You're doing your various training montages at this point. Everybody has a point of exhaustion because it's grueling and hard. And even for the mental gymnastics people, essentially, it's grueling and hard as the engineers really put you through your paces as you're going. It's like, oh man, I studied this. The last time I did this, I was in basically like my graduate program, like 10 years ago, sort of deal. There's all sorts of blue and white klaxons go off in the whole base. Alert! Alert! Attack imminent, essentially. All Marines to battle stations. All guests should retire to basically secure quarters immediately.
Knock, knock, open
you
the
know
door,
there's a sort of civilian bunker that the engineers will go to. Well, I guess there's a bunker that the engineers will go to, so you can either go to that or you can rush into battle with the Marines, but something is going down at this point.
I am rushing into battle with the Marines.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All the Marines are rushing off roughly in the same directions, like, they're donning their full, they're basically heading to the garrisons and the armory and getting their full gear on. You can already see, like, it was just less than maybe a minute ago, but you already see fully decked out of Marines running out the other way towards the main hall.
Finally, some action.
Let's see how we can help them.
Okay, so is everybody rushing out with the Marines at this point?
Probably.
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we need to stay together, guys. So sure, I'll come along.
Sure.
I've got my cool new nano weave. Hell yeah.
What is your dex anyway, Trance?
12 or 14.
So you have 15 AC. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Battle
not bad.
music.
Oh yeah, no, the Marines need battle music. That's why I'm going.
Yeah, they need a sweet soundtrack.
Hungry like the wolf.
We're gonna need you to add that in post.
Okay, there we go. All right, I need to get some pictures of Chaos Marines here. Give me a quick click.
Oh, can I have a oh, I need to find the noise Marines. Count and charm. I wanted to ask you a question, Lawrence, because I wasn't quite prepared for whether I'm just a variant human or an actual demon tiefling. I mean, if I can just be a variant human, I probably would do that.
Okay, so you're just having to. So there's all sorts of. Your race can be just a variant human because there's like in the Imperium, people have been genetically altered or adapted to basically all sorts of weird worlds at this point. So
okay,
you can just be a variant human and that's fine. Yes.
Okay.
Blood for the blood.
All right. Busting like smoke is roiling out. Black smoke is rolling out from the launch bay at this point, from where the shuttles normally land. You can see a sort of crushed Marine armor, essentially, where the head of the armor has been like staved in, like where there's a giant dent where this person's face used to be, basically in the armor, and rolling around the side of as you see one giant claw and then a tremendous huge set of horns whip around, and as a daemon's head, some 20 or so feet tall, off the ground, sort of like peers around the corner with malicious intent in its eyes and blood dripping down from its fangs, and its extremely long tongue sort of tastes the air. It's like, blood for the blood god! Corn! I am the son of Corn, basically, come to wreak vengeance on you, space wolves.
Milk for the cornflakes!
Yes.
Can I throw my
rushing out behind him is are dozens of chaos, blood red suited space marines that have the sort of double horn sigil of corn across their breastplates.
So there are space marines that have been perverted by corn.
Chaos marines, yes.
These are chaos space marines, yes.
Okay.
Highest form of heresy.
As Trance is following these Marines out, he begins to play an old classic tune that very few people have heard of. And the immigrant song starts coming out, and he starts going.
That's awesome.
And it crescendos right as they hit, because
all right,
cinematic.
All right, everybody, roll me initiatives. We're just gonna start from the highest initiative and go around from there, effectively. So
8.
Mina rolled a 20. It's a 22. It's a miracle.
Natural one.
That is a miracle.
Oh my god. I know. I never rolled good nets.
I got a 15. I need to figure out how to make Aubrey actually pay attention to my rolls yet.
Okay, so Mina, it's looking like you're first. That's it. You're up.
Okay.
And then
that
somewhere
never
midway through
happens.
is the Chaos Space Marines because they rolled a 10.
Right. How close am I to the lead demon?
I'm saying, so Asgul, you're currently, you're, okay, so let's backtrack really quick, essentially. Do an Arcana roll for me, Tirshon, to cure insanity, and because we've got a month, effectively, to work on this.
18.
18, all right. Then a wisdom save for Asgul.
Am I allowed to give him guidance during this, or am I focusing on a
No,
different
not at
spell?
all, because this is over the course of several days. So
Makes sense. All good.
Wisdom save is 17.
okay, no problem. All right, so both of you are in. Your insanity basically has sort of gone into dormancy at this point. You just see, Asgul has random flashes of rage, and Dredges sees like bugs only like maybe every few days, but out of the corner of his eye, but not continuously. All right. All right. Let's see here. So, Tree, what are you doing?
Oh, okay. So how close am I? Am I within 120 feet of this main guy?
So they're probably about. So they're. Let's just say they're in shooting distance. So go ahead.
Oh, I was going to cast Hypnotic Pattern on the main guy and whoever was within 30 feet around him.
Some of the Marines seem to be affected, but the Chaos Daemon, the Blood Rager, does not. It's just like he simply stands there in it, basically, and like drools blood on the floor.
Don't you hate when they do that?
You've already, as more Chaos Marines roll out the sides, you've already lost count of how many of them there are. It's a good thing there's a Space Marine chapter just right behind you. It's a good thing. And to the side of you and to the front of you. Okay, let's see here. And then, okay, so we'll roll up from there. Ronan, what are you up to?
I am going to. Where's my spells? Summon Poppy, of course.
Boop.
And fire a firebolt at the Chaos guy. If he's in range.
You do. Inherently, you already know most daemons are highly resistant to fire. It'd probably be better to shoot one of the Marines. There is a Marine captain not too far away from leading another detachment of Chaos Marines. So
So I'll hit
let me just put out the main key figures in the bad guy force. So there is.
Lawrence, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Okay. So the key figures and the bad guys.
So here's the leaders of the bad guys. There's the Marine Captain, the Blood Rager, which is the big demon, and a Chaos Chaplain. So AKA a Chaos Psyker of some sort. Okay, so Ronan, so the Marine Captain or the Chaos Chaplain are probably your best bet, or the Chaos Priest, I guess, would be the. So who do you want to shoot?
So I'll go after
the Blood Rager does not need to be a good target because you're guessing most demon. You already know most demons are like highly resistant to fire. They might even be immune.
So I'll go after the chaplain or the priest because he's fighting the spells and stuff.
Okay, so roll to hit. You're at disadvantage on Poppy, but you're at normal to hit with your normal firebolt. So, okay, that misses the chaplain by a very wide margin, and Poppy also misses. All right. You fire off some warning shots, and they do not advantage. They do not even heed your call. Tirshan.
All right. So other than the three main contenders, what's in front of me?
Legions of Black Chaos Space Marines.
All right. If that's the case, hopefully this will work the way I think it will. Can I harness the storm outside? Is it like within reach, so to speak?
Yes. In fact, like the whole hangar bay doors have been blown apart at this point to let these guys in. So howling rain and wind is sort of beginning to blow in through the hangar bay doors.
I'm going to cast Call Lightning at 6th level, but since there's a storm already present, it gets bumped up to 7th level.
Okay, very good.
So I'm going to target just, a point somewhere in the horde and blast them apart at 7th level.
Okay, got it.
29 lightning damage somewhere in that horde.
All right. You see some Marines stagger, but they are still standing at the end. They're going, well, damn it.
Well, I got 9 more of those.
Okay.
Also, I'm standing right next to Hate.
Okay. Prince.
How close are the two leaders of the Chaos Marines?
If you want to charge into them and engage, essentially they will meet you halfway.
Are they next to each other?
Not even remotely. The three of them are pretty far apart from each other. They're all each leading a third of the host, the Chaos host.
I am going to attempt. Okay, I gotta try it. I'm gonna cast Wall of Force in the shape of a dome. An attempt to capture the
world's biggest Pokeball.
Yes. The Chaos Commander that's not the Psyker.
Okay.
It's got a 120-foot range.
The commander dive rolls out of it, as does his lieutenants, but looks like you caught a goodly chunk of his force inside the force bubble.
I will maintain that and stay back.
Do not shoot me in the face.
This is why I'm standing next to Hate.
I'm very pretty. All right, Hate.
Oh my god.
Do I have my sword back at this point?
Not at all.
So
you do have a spare, so you have a normal chainsword at the moment.
Okay.
You have a normal chainsword at this moment because they have plenty of spares they could lend you.
Alright, I'm gonna try charging the chaplain.
Okay.
No,
all right, you start charging the chaplain. All right, now they do their stuff. Okay, so I want you to each roll me a d20 to determine whether or not you're in or out of this. If you roll 11 or above, you're out. Otherwise, if you roll below that, you're in. As the chaplain rains death on top of your team, basically, as this rain of black blood sort of like rains down on the troops.
Mina rolled a 6.
roll.
I believe she's going to use her inspiration.
Okay.
Not sure if I actually rolled.
And then she's got a 14. What's her DC on this?
You just need to get 11 or better.
Okay.
So it's a 50-50 roll.
Okay.
So the only one that's in it right now is Tirshan.
Trying to figure out how to roll just a regular d20.
It's
there it is.
exclamation
Okay.
mark R space 1d20.
I got it 11.
Okay, fine. You're outside of it. All right. So Tirshan happens to be standing at the edge of it, going as all as okay. So I need a DC 20. What is it? Con save.
Can do.
As black rain basically rains down on the Marines next to you and around you, and happens to catch Tirshan, who is at the edge of your group.
24.
24. Okay, so you take 30 points of necrotic damage as you see armor and men begin to melt around you. So the Marines next to you are still alive after this, even if they failed their saves. But it's just like they don't look super healthy. They don't look. As they look almost like as corrupt as the Space Marines they're facing off against at this point, as their armor is stained red with blood, and
said
steam
30
is sort of
points?
seeping out. Yeah.
What? I normally take. I have Warcaster, but I don't know off the top of my head how concentration checks work.
So it's just a
Constitution
d20 roll
save.
plus your con bonus.
But like, what's the DC? I got a
DC
natural
is
20.
well,
Half the
DC is
damage?
half the damage you took, or 10.
10.
Or 10.
So
But
that
I got
was
a
15 in
26.
this case. Okay, you're fine.
Yep.
All right, so you get hammered and you're still okay. All right, got it. Okay, so hey, what were you up to again?
I was charging the chaplain.
You were charging the chaplain. Go ahead.
Alright, I'm gonna swipe at him 2 times with my chainsword.
Okay, go ahead. The chaplain sort of like unfurls this banner with the sort of wicked devil face of corn on it, and is wielding some sort of like energy power blade.
23 hit.
23 hits just fine.
I say I'm going to cast Shield of Faith as well as my bonus action, but I only hit once because the other one was a 3. So
Okay.
that's going to do 2d6 plus 6.
You're pretty much aware that Chaos Marines are a form of daemon at this point, since they're very corrupt. You can smite for extra damage if you want to smite.
I will
So-
definitely smite for extra damage. 3rd level smite. That'll be
So
5.
add the extra D8 for them being chaos. So
18 more points of radiant.
okay. So the chaplain staggers back a little bit as you rend the front of his armor, and swings back around to get into a battle stance. Drudges.
I'm gonna go ahead and rage and roll my 1d8 for my magic table.
Okay.
Alright, that's gonna do. I haven't seen this one. I've looked at this one before. My weapon damage type changes to forced, and I can now throw it.
Okay.
Interesting. I didn't see that one before.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
It's basically Mjolnir now.
Okay. Very good.
Huh.
All right. You have Rocket Mjolnir at this point. So it's like-
So, how many Chaos Marines could I get in like one line? Because I'm gonna use my breath attack.
Let's see here. So I'll give you the same option, essentially. I'll give with your I-beam, essentially. If you want to spend hit points, you can boost the damage on your breath weapon. Since at these levels the damage you normally do is so low that is not usually worth using. So okay, so you can start at the 2d8 and then you can add a d8. I don't know, what is it, for 4 points of hit points you want to basically pump into it.
Okay, so the 11th level it's 46, so I want to put in like 8 health points, so make it 6.
Okay, got it. Perfect. All right, and what side of breath weapon is this?
Lightning.
Lightning. All right, you let rip a powerful lightning bolt. Let's see here, 4.
Damn.
So.
It's a bunch of ones.
I thought Dragonborn breath weapons did 2d8 base. Is it d6?
I thought it says 6 in my character sheet.
That's weird. Okay.
No.
Let's make it d8, because that's to make it more useful for this campaign. So go ahead and roll 6d8.
Alright.
Okay, well, that's a better roll. All right, great, perfect. All right, you let loose a solid lightning breath weapon, and it streaks across. Pick one of the 3 groups, essentially: the chaplain, the captain, or the Blood Rager Daemon.
The captain.
Captain's group, okay. All right. The captain, like you see, deploys an energy shield, and the lightning streams around him, but definitely gets his 2 lieutenants and a lot of the men behind him, as they are all steaming at this point, as you can see, sort of smoke and steams like roiling out of their armor. Okay, Asgul.
I am gonna cast Hunter's Mark on the chaplain and fire at him twice with my marine pistol.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, let's see what I got. 15 plus 8 is 23, and 13. So 1 hit, I'm assuming at 23?
Yes, that's correct. So the chaplain and the Space Marine captain both have 22 AC. The Blood Rager has 18.
3, 4, 5. And 13 damage.
All right. Is that including your sneak attack damage?
Yes.
Okay. And did you Hunter's Mark already or no?
Yeah. I did that first.
Okay, so you have Hunter's Mark and sneak attack added in there already. Okay, got it. Okay. And what is okay, so got it. All right, you shoot the Marine captain. There's a pling off his like heavy armor, but you definitely squarely got him. Okay, like en masse, the rest of the Marines act. The Blood Ragers, your Marine, the Space Wolves charge forward. The Blood Ragers and the Marine captain charge forward. The chaplain's group seems to hang back at this point as fire support. As there's a clash of blue and red as Marines are hacking at each other with power weapons and shooting heavy bolter rifles at each other. There is just mass carnage on the field. It is hard to tell what's going on at the moment as the whole room starts to fill with the sounds of battle and smoke from the discharge of weapons and the people getting mutilated. The Blood Rager you can still see standing 20 feet above the battlefield, basically hacking into groups of Marines, basically cutting them into pieces. Okay. Let's see here. And at this point, I'm assuming everybody is sort of like hanging back a little bit unless you directly engaged. So everybody roll me a d20 to see if any of the 3 heroes of chaos, champions of chaos, directly engage one of you.
I got a 9.
I got an 8.
I got an 8. So, what's our DC on this? Is it 11?
It's just a 50-50 roll, 11 or better.
Okay, so Mina's going to use her third. No, this is her second plus 5. So I'll pass.
Okay, this is not a skill roll. This is just like a random chance.
Oh, okay. So I can't. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And we
I'm
can't.
going to use a luck point to reroll.
Okay.
All right.
It went down.
Okay.
Not so lucky.
Not so lucky.
Yeah, we're not looking so awesome here.
All right. Let's see here. So the Marine captain has 4 attacks. It's 2 lieutenants. Okay, the Marine captain squad. Holy shit.
Oh God.
Okay, so France, you're basically. Apparently, the captain and his squad hate music, so as you take a critical to the head for like 25 points of the damage, 25 points of damage as a heavy bolter shot like glances across your skull, you're going, wow, he's super accurate. Wow, he's super. Because he's all the way over on the other side of the battlefield, and you see him just level his pistol at you and crack off a shot and bean you in the head. Okay, let's see here. Who else was that? Mina, you are hit for 12 points of damage by regular blaster shot. Let's see, Stormcrow, you are. Several Marines shoot your direction for a total of 20 damage. Let's see here, and then one more hit here. Let's see here. Who else? Mina, Stormcrow. Dredges, the Marine captain himself, with his power sword, like, stabs you through the gut for... Are you resistant? Are you resistant to basically psychic damage or no?
That's like one of the one things barbarians can't get resistant to.
Never mind. You're definitely resistant to the slashing part, but okay. So his power blade basically hacks into your side. You take 10 points of psychic damage, and the other half you have the other part for 8 points of damage. So that's already halved. So
18 damage total? Yeah.
18 damage total for Dredges. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Blood Rager is like mealeeing with the chaplain and the main host of the Space Wolves. And this chaplain already did his stuff. Okay, we're back to Mina.
Mina wants to use her new grenade launcher on the blood guy.
Okay. Roll. If you want to have spent an additional 300 credits to modify your grenade launcher, you can get it up to 2 attacks at this point.
I feel I had time to do that, and I definitely would have.
You got almost 3-4 weeks to do this, so yes. Yeah, okay. You've improved his cycling time on the mechanism, so all right.
Okay, so
who's got the inferior technology now?
So I'm gonna roll this. I haven't added it yet, so I'm just gonna roll my lightning launcher, which is a 21 to hit. And then,
you solidly hit like a group of Space Marines.
And 19
so again,
to hit.
Which of the 3 hosts do you want to hit? Essentially, the chaplains, the Blood Ragers, or the captains?
Blood Ragers, and so I got a 19 and a 21. Did those both hit?
Okay, you solidly put your grenades right in the center of their host, and there's some 2 solid whoops. Almost right on top of each other, so roll 12d6.
Okay.
Hey, Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken, you said 12d6 plus dex.
I think
no?
so.
Or am I mistaken?
I think that's what he said.
You're actually aiming for someone directly, as opposed to just shooting in someone's center.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you say.
33
You
damage.
get to add your dex if you shoot somebody with it.
Right, if I lob it as a area
okay,
of
so
effect,
again, the host is like, yeah. So the host seems to be fairly resilient, but they are beginning to show signs of wear at this point. Okay, and i.e. you've damaged them, and essentially they're ticking down their health. So,
okay.
All right.
Immortal.
So effectively, the host around the main bad guys just acts as a giant pool of hit points that can do wandering damage until the wandering damage is dead. Okay, so they're effectively just a big swarm of Space Marines. All right, so let's see here, Ronan.
Trying to think if I try the Firebolt again or use Shatter. Screw it, I'll use Shatter.
Shatter is good if you want to try to target the Space Marines. Otherwise, you need to get up into melee in the grill of one of the Chaos Space Marine leaders. So the Blood Rager, the Captain, or the Chaplain?
You know what? I'll go in melee with the Chaplain.
Okay, so you're joining Hate at this point. All right, you poof into existence as you Misty step right next to Hate. Roll to hit with
Surprise,
advantage
motherfucker.
because in the chaos of melee, being able to teleport in is good.
Alright, I want to attack and then action surge.
Okay, so roll your 4. Well, actually, roll your 5 attacks. Include Poppy's attack in there.
If Poppy's is bonus, do you get an extra bonus action with action surge? I don't know fighter that much.
Yes,
Yeah.
you still get a normal
Full
round, and then you get an extra.
So, first one hits, second one hits, third one hits, fourth one's a crit.
Nice. Sweet.
And Poppy
Okay,
is...
so roll me, what is it?
No. What is it?
Okay, so roll me 5d8 plus, what is it? 28.
5d8 plus 28. Shit.
Yes.
I used to roll 20. Maximum damage, no. 19 plus 28. So 19 plus 28 is...
19 plus 28 is 37? No, 47.
46.
47.
Sweet.
It's
47, yes. 47, yes. All right, you stitch up the Chaplain like the expert swordsman you are, as you stab him through every gap under his arm and by his knee joint, as you slide your sword in everywhere his armor is weak. And he sort of like staggers to the ground at this point and is on one knee. Okay, and then Tirshan.
Seeing, because I'm sort of like hovering above the battle at this point, just like 10, 15 feet. Seeing Ronan like
you're of the opinion you're not exactly sure this is a great place to be because you are not under the cover of the Marines.
Yeah, I'll like fly up.
There is not a lot of
like,
field between you, and they all have ranged weapons. So like flying targets will get shot out of the air.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm technically huddling down near their legs, like trying not to get squished. I'll fly up just like right above their heads, so like 10 feet up, so I can get a vantage point. See Ronan.
Okay, that's a better plan. But I'm saying actually topping the level of the Space Marines is going to get you individually targeted. So just don't do that.
So I don't want to do that. So I basically like peeking my head out just to get a visual, and then taking cover again. And then seeing Ronan's sewing machine in the sky, I am going to drop another 7th level lightning bolt because concentration spell. And catch the. You said was it the Chaplain? Whoever Ronan just sewing machined.
Yeah, Chaplain.
For
yes, that's right. The Chaplain is staggered at the moment.
50 points of damage. That's a high roll.
All right.
Nice.
The Chaplain like dodge rolls out of the way at the last second, and as he sees a streak of lightning coming out from the hangar bay and streak towards him and his men. His lieutenant, who's standing next to him, is nowhere near as lucky as he takes the full brunt of this and gets blasted off his feet and crashes to the ground maybe about 20 feet away. Let's see.
And then I duck back down into the wall of metal.
Trance. Okay.
Trance barely made his concentration.
You ducked down back into the wall of metal as you're quickly realizing the wall of metal is getting really thin. There's only like one rank between you and the Blood Rager at this point.
Trance begins to move back a little bit while singing "You Have the Need to Feel the Thunder" and casting Mass Suggestion on the back row and telling them to go stare at the storm and count how many lightning strikes it has in 8 hours. And 12 of them will need to take Wisdom saving DC 17s. And I will use my bonus action. Do we have a big guy on the field with us? Do we have like a hero Marine? Because I'm going to give him inspiration.
Yes, there is the Space Marine Chaplain, who is leading your host at the host of forces at the moment. So
He's basically me, but better.
I inspire the chaplain.
no, he's he's effectively a paladin for all his intents and purposes.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
Still. He probably has just as many spell slots as I do.
the chaplain is a psyker, but he's just not a very because he's the Space Wolf chaplain. He's not like a very good psyker. He's more of a melee enhanced spellcaster. So
Yep. Doesn't mean he's not good at what he does.
So he's more like a paladin than he is a priest. Okay. All right. Okay. So Trance, you try to mesmerize the back guys. It's like you have a hard time telling if anything's going on because there was a hypnotic pattern back there before, and now there's a suggestion, and it's like as you can hear from the back ranks, blood, 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 blood for the blood god, blood, blood. It's like they're going, did it work? Did that work?
Hey, if it worked at all, I'll be happy. So, and I'll just keep moving back towards the back.
As far as you can tell at this point, well, they aren't shooting, so I guess it sort of worked.
It's better than being shot at. I'll take it.
Let's see, Black Ray.
Can I have Purple
Okay,
Rain
the
instead?
chaplain. Let's see here.
Evil chaplain or good guy chaplain?
It's like that episode of Star Trek, isn't it?
There's an evil chaplain.
I love it.
Is it the guy with the white and the black, or is it the guy with the black and the white? You know.
Did he have a goatee?
It's the dead giveaway.
All right, let's see. The two lieutenants next to the chaplain rush forward to defend their chaplain. One of them criticals hate for 24 points of damage with a power lance as it drives it straight through a shoulder, and the other one misses horribly. The chaplain himself looks like he heals greatly as you see all sorts of wounds basically seal up on himself, and he stops bleeding. Let's see here, and then he stands up.
Don't you hate it when they do that?
And let's see here, what other stuff?
I'm just gonna scissor him.
All right, the blue and the red, essentially. So the Blood Rager hacks through the chaplain. The chaplain and his lieutenant seem to be the only thing standing between you, like Trance and Tiershawn, and the Blood Rager at this point, as the rest of the Marines around him are basically getting decimated by the Blood Rager, as the Marines behind him basically are just sort of mopping up anybody that's still even remotely standing. And the chaplain himself doesn't look all that hot, so as he's holding up, basically, you see the chaplain take a moment to lay on hands on himself, basically, as he seals up all his wounds. But even after he does this, you see blood is still gushing out of his wounds, as if the wounds caused by the Blood Rager cannot be easily healed. Let's see here.
So we're all
right,
going
then we go to Hate.
Yes.
All right, Hate is going to remember to use his improved Divine Smite this time, because he just picked that up. And he's going to try to smite the priest 2 times again. He's going to try.
All right, go right ahead. Roll the hit.
23 to hit.
There's 1 hit.
And 22 to hit.
There's 2 hits. All right, great, perfect.
All right, base damage is
All
going to
right,
be...
so they have 22 ACs, the captain and the chaplain.
Yep. So 16 base plus a 3rd level smite.
Smite, 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 smite!
Plus the improved Divine Smite for 68. So 34, which gives him 50 points of damage. And then second attack.
Okay.
17 and a level 2. Well, how badly does he look since he healed himself?
It looks like he'd have to use both, essentially, because he did a good job of healing himself.
And I'll use another 3rd level smite. The last. So 29 and 17 is 30, 46.
All right. You hack the chainsaw, so you hook the chainsword basically in between his helmet and his neck armor, and begin to grind through, and eventually come out the other side as his head goes popping off into the distance. The 2 lieutenants basically, it's like
they don't like me very much.
The 2 lieutenants' eyes rage with like black and red infernal fire as. Did they actually just get bigger as their armor sort of like begins to distort and they become as like go ahead and roll Arcana check or a history check.
I will roll either one's -1, so natural 20.
Sweet.
Hey.
You've seen this before on the battlefield. Essentially, the followers are corn. If enough blood has been shed on the battlefield, even on their own side, they can summon another Blood Ranger.
Oh, lovely.
For the Chaos Marines of Khorne, as the 2 lieutenants begin, their bodies begin to twist and distort as they basically like grasp each other shoulder to shoulder and sort of glom into one being and become larger as they form up another Blood Ranger at this point.
Cut off.
So we have
2 more tickets, please.
Okay, Dredges.
Alright, you said the captain came at me to attack me, so I'm gonna attack him if he's still around me.
Yes.
Alright, I'll do that with my...
Yes, he is. He's still right next to you. He's slammed you in the side with his power sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So, 26 to hit for the first one.
Okay.
And another 26. Wow.
Okay, he still has 22 AC, so you hit.
Alright, so that's 226.
Okay, still hitting.
And I don't remember what my damage is, because remember, I have a rocket maul. And what was it, 40?
So it's the rocket sledge does 46 when the rockets are working. But there's a burnout, like a 25% burnout chance, essentially, on any given swing that the rockets stop working. Okay, your rocket sledge is still working full tilt, so survives into the next round. All right, 46. So 8d6 plus your damage bonus twice, plus 1 because I think it's a +1 weapon.
Yeah, and this is force damage, so he's not.
That's correct. I think he's only resistant to fire damage to begin with.
Okay.
Okay, well, don't forget your rage bonus because you probably have +7, not +5. So we'll add +4 to that total, 25 and 21. Okay. All right, you slam the captain in the side and in the head. His armor has giant dents in it, and he is staggering back at the moment, but still alive. Asgol.
I am going to shoot at the chaplain, and I'm going to command my doggy to attack the chaplain.
Well, the chaplain is very, very dead at this point. What's left is like his 2 lieutenants have joined together to become this Blood Ranger monstrosity of like 4-armed, 4-legged, 2-headed weirdo and basically demon where 2 Space Marines have glommed together.
All right, I will attack one of those. Okay, so my attacks got a. Why are you there? You don't even. 1 miss. Where's my other dice? Got a 26. And then my doggy got 16. Is the highest, so my doggy missed. I got 1 hit. Wow. That's the red. 7 plus 5.
Okay, well, give me the 1 hit.
12. 15 plus 2. 17 damage.
Okay, got it. So you So who are you shooting at this? The captain looks really badly staggered. The Blood Rager is fairly badly damaged, and the new Blood Rager on the field is completely undamaged.
The damaged Blood Rager.
Damaged Blood Rager. Okay. You shoot the Blood Rager, more blood spills out onto the field, and the Blood Rager basically suddenly, his eyes focus on you with the baleful fire behind his pupils. Okay. Alright, the bad guys. The Blood Rager reaches out impossibly far with the point of his flaming sword and slams Asgol through the chest easily almost from 35, 40 feet away. As you get pierced, as he sort of picks you up on the point of his sword and slams you back onto the ground. So you take a total of 26 points of damage.
Ooh. Extendo sword.
Okay,
Drop my hunter's mark. All the way.
Okay, let's see. The chaplain takes this moment to basically hack the Blood Rager in the knee as the Blood Rager sort of staggers and falls to one knee. Okay, so good guys getting hit, and then let's see here. The captain. Let's see here. The captain slams his power sword into Dredges 3 times for a total of, what is it? Let's see. Some of this is not resistible by a resistance, so let's see here. So 15 points of this is not resistible, essentially, so you just take that 15 straight out. And then this is the other half of the damage, which is already halved, so you take an additional 10.
The best you got.
Alright, so you take 25 total. As the force bit, basically the psychic bit of the blade, you can't resist, but the stabby bit of the blade, you can. Okay. Alright, and that was them. We're back to Mina.
Okay, I think I'm going to go with the grenade launcher again. So at this point, the bad guy chaplain is down on his knee. Is that right?
No, chaplain's dead, but
one of the Blood Ragers.
Bad guy chaplain is dead.
So
the main Blood Rager that you saw at the beginning is kneeling, knocked to the ground at this point. Is kneeling, and then the Marine captain looks pretty badly beat up as well.
Okay, let me go after the Marine captain. So I rolled a 28 on the first one. I'm using my grenade launcher, and 24 on the next one.
Your grenade just outside, not to hit. Yeah, you pinpoint shot your grenades right next to the captain, and do not manage to clip Dredges at all. Go ahead and roll your 12d6, and I will roll the captain's get out of dodge roll.
Okay.
Dodge to get out of dodge.
You couldn't shoot the captain directly, otherwise you would definitely be hitting Dredges.
That's 53.
53 damage?
Yeah.
All right, so the captain,
I got 4 6s on that, Ryan, which is crazy for me.
D6.
Yeah, it was 12d6, but 4 of them were actually maxed out, which is.
All right, so he rolls. The captain rolls partially out of the way of the first grenade blast, only to roll into the second one, and stops moving after that. Stops. And as more blood pours out onto the field, essentially the main Blood Rager you see is his knee sort of like blood sort of like ripples down from his jaw and then up from the battlefield into his knee and basically restores the Blood Rager's knee as it sort of like raises back up into standing position again, and they're going, well shit. Well shit.
He's healing himself from the blood of his fallen.
Yeah, so maybe we need to do something that doesn't cause blood. That's lightning, right? Freeze rays.
Well, I'm saying I'm just gonna have this happen when each of the main guys goes down. So you've already killed the captain and the chaplain at this point. Now it's just the 2 Blood Ragers on the field are the 2 actual leftover opponents. Okay, so that was Mina. Ronan. You're right next to like this weird Etten looking blood Rager that is 2 Space Marines joined together at the hip.
Can I go after the wounded one, or Or taking disengage.
I'm saying there is no wounded one. Essentially, the Blood Rager you're in front of you at this point is completely fresh.
Oh, I thought there was... Okay.
The chaplain is already dead.
The main Blood Ranger that was there?
There's the one that was there.
You can't disengage from the one you're in front of at the moment. Essentially, you're standing in front of one of the Blood Ragers at the other Blood Rager at the moment.
Right.
So I'm going to attack with my sword.
Because you went to engage the chaplain. Okay, go ahead. 2 attacks and Poppy, so roll 3 attacks. AC is 18.
So hit once. You said 18? That's an unnatural 20.
Yeah, so you have 3 attacks, just roll 3d20. Yeah. Yep.
And then a 16 for the other one. For the last one. Papa misses.
Okay, so that one misses. So Poppy misses, so go ahead and give me your 2d8 plus, what is it? You have plus 7, I think. So 14.
Right. 28.
28, okay. Alright, you hack into this Blood Rager, blood starts splattering all over you, you take 5 points of acid damage as superheated blood begins to sear into your skin, and as its blood basically tears into your armor. Tirshan.
Alright, is one of the, or any of the Blood Ragers on the field still untouched?
Well, not anymore. Like, Ronan damaged the other newly formed one, so they're
Which
both
one
damaged
looks more
now.
damaged?
The original one. The bigger one.
Alright, I will... Stormcrow's eyes will glow blue, and the storm starts to sort of quiet as a massive lightning bolt rips through, and I'm going to do another 7th level strike, but I'm going to pour my Channel Divinity into it, so instead of rolling, I just deal 70 points of lightning damage. To it and any Space Marines. I'm going to, deck save, but,
Let's put it this way. He covers enough space by himself not to be your only target, unfortunately.
Still,
so,
70 points.
You can basically clip like 1 or 2 Marines on the edge, but that's about it.
He's
okay,
my priority.
the Blood Rager in the front... The Blood Rager in the front apparently didn't heal enough, so he discorporates at this point, as there's a splatter of blood that goes everywhere, searing the Space Wolves, and emboldening the Marines behind him as they all seem to wake up out of their trance. Like, blood, 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 heal! As the whole host behind the Blood Rager rushes forward at that point. All the ones that had been held in place, now that has been splattered with the daemon's blood, seem to awake from their trance. The chaplain is grimly standing his ground with his few guys behind him, and you guys, Tirshan and Trance are going, are like holding out your weapons, going, "I'm gonna die."
How many more left are there?
No, they took out basically like probably about 15, 16 of them basically by putting them in like suggestion or trance. But now that the blood of the blood daemon has splattered all over them, they're going, "Blood must kill!" as they go into a berserker rage and go to kill people now.
So there's 16 enemies left.
All right. I'm saying they act as one unit, essentially. They're already damaged as well, essentially. So this fight is mainly between you and the Blood Ragers, and the captains and everybody else is assumed to be engaging other Space Marines at this point. Except in those cases where I say they aren't. In this case, I'm saying they aren't. Alright, so let's see here. Tirshan, you did your thing. Trance.
Alright, so this is not going too terribly well. I'm going to look around for a Space Marine.
Back in your mind, you're going, standing your ground against in a Space Marine charge sounds like a tremendously bad plan, unless you want to go out in a blaze of glory.
I am going to find a space marine that is kind of there. One of ours that's like down and out, but like still alive. Can I find one?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, easily, all over the place.
I'm gonna look at him and say, "This will make you feel better. Just let it happen." And I'm gonna polymorph him into a T-Rex.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna move further back that way. I've been looking for CR12 stuff.
Excellent.
T-Rex is the highest polymorph can go.
Well, there's a bunch of
fair enough. You
stuff.
can find a sturdy marine next to you to turn into some big animal. So you, it's like I've seen one of these T-Rexes in museums. Essentially, I always wanted to turn somebody into one.
This should
work.
Right.
You send a T-Rex out there to basically intercept a marine charge. To Trance's horror, just like they dismember the T-Rex gets like one or two of them before they dismember it. You're going, as you see parts of T-Rex flying up due to chain swords and power claws, and you can see guts and blood flying in a big cloud away from your creature, going, but you've delayed them at least for a round and got a couple of them.
Let's go. We all need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he just pops back out of polymorph at his current level of health, so he actually gets to die twice.
Oh, okay.
What a noble sacrifice.
Yes. But there's definitely bits of like large bits and guts of like T-Rex all splattered all over you and everybody else in a large 30-foot radius.
And Trance begins to run the hell back to the chapter house.
Okay, you run back towards the back ranks. All right, which is probably a smart move, given you're a squishy. All right. Okay, so that. Okay, the big blood rager is down. The little blood rager, I need to have it do its thing. All right, it seems to attack impossibly quickly and accurately as it. Let's see, who out of the two of you actually... Well, I guess Hate technically holds the captain, so I'll go after Hate. So...
I use the luck to make him reroll the 20.
Sweet.
Okay. Alright, that'll be a miss. So, okay, you get hit twice. Alright.
Good use of luck.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, the Blood Rager stabs you impossibly quickly and accurately as he basically slams his sword through you twice, essentially for a total of 33 points of damage. Okay, and that was the Blood Rager's action. His host needs to go shoot some people at this point, since now they can possibly target you, now that we're into the second phase of combat.
Godzilla.
Okay, Ronan, you get hit for 12 points of damage as a blaster bolt basically squarely hits you in the center chest plate. And then there's another one glances off your shoulder but doesn't cause you any damage. Okay, and then, let's see here, that was Marines. The center rank Marines took apart the T-Rex. The left flank Marines next to the captain at this point, we'll say they're engaged with other Space Marines. All right. So, Hate.
I will attempt to chop up the Blood Rager in front of me.
Okay.
$18 will hit.
Yep.
And 28 will hit. So I'm going to smite both times with the level 2 smite.
Okay.
Base damage is 12 plus 18, so 30 points of damage for the first strike. And 13 plus 13 is 26, so 46 points of damage.
Okay, got it.
That's it.
Okay, got it. Drudges.
I'm gonna make 2 attacks at the one of the Blood Ragers. I'm not sure which one.
Well, there's only one left, and you're gonna have to go across the battlefield to get to it. Are you willing to like storm your way through Marines and take an opportunity attack to do this, or are you gonna attack the Marine host? Or are you gonna attack the Marine host in front of you?
I guess we'll attack the Marine host.
Because you're on the left flank, and basically Ronan and Hate are on the right flank at the moment. Because you attack the captain and they attack the chaplain.
Alright, I rolled a 2 and a 7, so I don't think either of those hit.
Okay, yeah, you do not manage to damage the Marine host in any appreciable way. Essentially, you're making giant wide swings with your rocket hammer, trying to keep them at bay. Asgol.
I am going to attack the shoot my laser pistol or my Marine pistol at the Blood Rager that Hate is attacking. I'm going to have my doggy try and bite him on the heels.
Okay. All right.
Guys rolling.
Your doggo basically rushes between the ranks of the Space Marines like lightning, and poof, appears next to the Blood Rager. And what do we got? He has
so I got
18 AC.
19, 21, and unnatural 20.
Sweet.
Okay, very good. And your dog has 2 attacks, so do a second attack for your dog.
I rolled all my attacks at once. I'm rolling like 11.
Oh, you rolled all your attacks at once. Okay, so you got 3 hits then, and so
Sweet.
2 hits and a crit. So, what is it? 4D. Okay, we'll just say 4D12. We'll just say your dog does the same damage as your pistol. 4D12 plus what is it? Plus 15.
9. And then 6 is what? 7. 15. 15.
Then plus an additional 3D6, I believe, because you still have your hunter's markup.
32. 39 damage is what I counted.
All right, your dog manages to rip big bloody chunks out of the twin Blood Rager, and you put a solid shot through one of its heads. Still seems to be alive, but essentially one of its heads sort of lolling off to the side at the moment. Okay, Mina.
Okay, I'm gonna. Can I hit that one with my grenade launcher and not hit Hate?
Or me?
So roll to hit and hit AC 20, not to hit either one of them.
Okay, that's
because they're in close combat and you're using a grenade launcher.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so that's 24 to hit on one.
Pinpoint shot, bam! Just like...
A 10 on the other. So I got one hit, and that is that 66? Is that what we decided?
Yeah. So So Ronan and Hate Dex save DC 16 for half damage versus 19.
Damn. 19.
Okay, so Ronan takes the 19 unless you want to spend an inspiration point at this point. So
We'll spend the inspiration.
okay, go right ahead. All right, so 9 damage to Hate and 19 damage to Ronan. All right, grenade goes off. Okay, and then roll your other grenade.
Oh, I did. I rolled 2, and I rolled a 10 on the second one, so only one hit.
Hopefully it hits a Marine
no,
somewhere
I'm saying they both hit automatically this general area. It's whether or not you will manage to miss Ronan and Hate in the radius, because is what I'm saying. So I think I'm just gonna say you have to hit AC 10 in order to put it at least on a hex, right? So, oh, never mind. You rolled a 1, so it did miss. Okay, never mind. You rolled a 1. The other grenade goes off and like blows up in an empty space someplace.
Okay.
Not that there's many empty spaces on the field.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't notice you rolled a 1. I thought you. Okay, so Ronan, what are you doing?
I'm going to attack the last of the guys.
Okay, well, you're attacking the Blood Ranger at the moment, and he's attacking you guys.
Ranger. Okay, the last of the Blood Rangers. 22. And 29.
Okay, they have 18 AC. Give me damage.
And a natural 24.
Okay, so 4d8. Okay, 4d8 plus 14.
Uh, 37.
Nice.
Full amount of damage.
You manage to stab the Blood Rager through its remaining head with a resounding, sickening straight through the bottom of the jaw, straight through the top of the head. Its body teeters as it sort of spins and starts swinging around wildly as if it doesn't have any sense of where it is anymore, and then it eventually turns around and then falls forward on its face, belly down. Well, bam! With a resounding thud. And then begins to dissolve into this bubbling puddle of blood. Okay, so there's a giant spray of blood as this happens in every direction. Hate and Ronan, you both take 10 points of acid damage.
Ouch.
Okay. Tirshan.
What
so
else
there's
is
pretty
left?
much only Marine hosts left. The left host next to the captain. Well, the center host, basically, that was behind the big Blood Rager, is probably the smallest at this point. It's down to probably less than a half of what it was originally. The ones to the right and left look also pretty badly damaged, so I guess they're all roughly at the same level.
You want to guess what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to drop some more lightning on them.
Okay.
39 damage. Deck saves for the lot of them.
Okay.
You get deck save. You get deck save. Everyone gets deck save.
Oprah deck saves.
Okay, so more Chaos Marines begin to fall as their blood begins to just like seep out of their bodies. Even though you cause them electrical damage, there's like blood like pools in large red stains on the ground, essentially wherever they fall. Okay, Prance. You're sort of looking back around. It looks like the Marines have stopped the advance of the Chaos Marines that were charging your position at this point, but only barely.
Do they look like they are a little bit demoralized at this point? Like their death gods have gone away? Do they look as resistant as before? Wondering. I'm thinking about just casting Hypnotic Pattern into the back of them, trying to just stop as many of them as I can. Trying to get as much...
That's as reasonable as anything. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Give me the check here.
I'm going to go ahead and cast it towards the back and get as many as I can.
Okay, so you pretty much catch the whole back rank, so they're more than halved in number at this point. So they don't. Some of them are. So they've gone back into the back. They're going chanting blood, blood, blood.
Better chanting than slashing.
Yes. And I will go ahead and play a little tune for Hate, as he is really just running in the middle of things right now. And I think so is Asgul, and I'll get to his next turn.
Okay, so you get a Bardic Inspiration for Hate. Okay, Space Marine hosts. Let's see, left flank and right flank and middle flank. And middle of the run. Middle of the formation. All right, so
What's
let's see
left
here.
of the middle?
So there's left, right, and middle. All right, let's see here. Okay, so Marines are streaming in now that you're no longer directly engaged with the Blood Rager. The Marines are streaming in around Hate and Ronan. Let's see here, so that's one.
So which Marines? Their Marines?
They're Marines,
Okay.
the bad guys.
Okay.
Your forces are no longer enough to essentially stave off essentially people at least in the front row from directly having to engage in melee. So,
Okay.
let's see here. Though the Chaos Marines of Khorne have been greatly reduced in number. There's probably only about a third of them left. So, okay. So, as you haven't quite turned it into a mop-up operation as of yet, though. So this is where so they're still going at it. Okay. So let's see here. So, Hate. Total damage 20 from 2 heavy blaster shots. Ronan, 1 shot for 10 points of damage. And then, let's see here. The middle host. See how they're doing. Tirshan and Trance, 10 points of damage as both of you take basically a blaster shot to the chest each. And Mina, let's see, your AC is 20 or above, right? Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, you take one hit for 10 points of blaster damage. So this is force damage, and then let's see here. Okay, then left host is pretty much Dredges and the other Space Marine. So let's see.
I'm sorry, I just zoned out. Did you say I take damage there?
10.
You do not. You take 10. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you do take 10. Yeah.
10. All right. I'll
okay,
take 10.
Dredges, what is your AC currently?
14.
14. Okay, so the 13. Well, I guess they actually all 3 hits. Essentially, you're not particularly great AC. So, yeah. All right. So, okay, we'll say your resistance applies to this as they all hit you with various blaster bolts to the chest. So you take a total of 30 damage, but get to have it to 15. Okay, Asgul, you're far enough back where they do not target you. All right, so okay, so that was a Space Marine host. Hate.
I'm gonna lay on hands for 60 points.
Yeah.
Ooh. There you go. Okay. Feeling better. All right, Dredges.
I'm gonna use my Crystal Eye Beam.
Okay, we'll allow you to rake it across multiple targets. So how many hit points are you gonna put into this thing?
15.
15. Okay, so that's 10 plus 1 up. So okay, so you're doing, what is it? 8d6.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
$28.
Sweet.
All right, the 3 Marines in front of you melt before the excuse me. Before the rainbow crystal laser that's shooting out of your eye as you sort of catch them in an uneven, jagged pattern as you cut off one guy's head and then sort of continue down across the waist of the other 2, and they all 3 sort of like fall into pieces. So you've taken down the Marines directly in front of you. Asgul.
Seeing these guys are getting closer to me, I'm gonna back up and just fire into the crowd. And have my doggy attack. Let's see, where am I at? 14 and 27. Okay, so 1 hit, and then my doggy did 24 and 17.
Okay, you begin to your dog begins to tear into Marines as their heavy armor, after numerous getting blasted and shot at, is no longer a match essentially for your Ardwolf sharp fangs as your blaster shot rips into a couple Marines. They're the host is still standing, but only barely on the left flank. So, okay, Mina.
Mina would like to call lightning. So she gets a stroke of lightning 100 feet long and 5 feet wide that blasts out for me in a direction I choose. So I want to point it so I can get maximum numbers of them. And then they need to make a Dex 18 save. And I need to roll 8d6.
All right,
And
the
yeah.
host, the most damaged enemy marine host on the left is like raked by lightning as you get a little bit of height basically and blast down onto them with your lightning bolt. They're greatly diminished. There's just like a handful left, like probably 3 or 4 of them left on the left flank. So
Okay, so
then-
4 of them take 24 and 2 of them take 12, right? So,
yes, that's correct. And I'm just saying there's like 3 or 4 of them left on the left flank after that happens.
oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So after Dredges and you, essentially, there's only a tiny number of them left.
Okay.
That left flank is effectively fallen from all intents and purposes. Ronan.
Any hosts left that I could take care of?
Most of the host on the chaplain side is still there.
So I want to
As
continue
you're
attacking
battling alongside other Space Wolf Marines as the red and blue is like quickly all turning to red as like blood is flying everywhere.
I'm going to start attacking. Just
You're gonna wade
As many
into
as
the
I
fray
possibly
with the other Marines. All right, got it. Go ahead and roll your 3 attacks.
Ooh, crit.
Cool.
Okay.
It's a 26. Another crit.
Whoa!
Okay.
So that's 2 crits and. What did I say? Was it 16 or?
So the 16 misses. So that's so 2 crits. So 4d8 plus 14, I believe.
$22.
All right, you stab down 2 Marines in quick succession, and then sort of put your sword up in a quick guard salute, and then basically wing the blood off your sword to your left. All right, so let's see here. Let's see, Tearshawn.
All right, I'm gonna drop another lightning bolt on the biggest group left because I think I have the biggest mop, so to speak. So I'll put the biggest dent into the biggest group that I can. 46 points of lightning damage into the biggest group of hosts left.
The center rank crumbles entirely as your bolt rips through like 8 Marines that all happen to be standing in a line standing a little too close together after like going after the Space Wolf hosts. There's a roar from the Space Wolves in those ranks as they basically pile over the remaining Chaos Space Marines of Khorne in the center. So they're only the right flank left.
As a free action, I'm gonna try to like coat some of the more Space Wolves in rain, just like wash the blood off of them.
Okay, fair enough. And then Trance.
Kind of not sure what all I can do because I'm holding a couple of them at bay. I'm just going to go ahead and poke at one with a Ray of Frost.
Okay, roll the hit.
14.
That is a miss. All right. Hey.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and inspire Dregus.
Okay, got it. Yes. So effectively, you're down to 1 monster left, essentially the right host of Space Marines.
So
Okay, so those were 2 hits. Problem.
15 for the base, and I'm going to throw in a level 1 smite on both of these.
Okay. So you crush 4 Space Marines in quick succession with your mighty chainsword. As you kick their bodies off of your blade. It's looking like the Space Marines have the upper hand at this point. Dredges, you can finally cross the field all the way over to the right flank at this point because there's no impediment to do so, and start working on that group.
I will do that. I will make 2 attacks.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna attack recklessly so I get advantage. Damn. My rolls are ass right now.
Oof.
Okay, well, keep on going and get 2 attacks, so...
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
there's 1 hit. Alright, so 4d6 plus 7.
21.
Alright, you crack back your hammer as far as it'll go and hurl it in a blinding flash of bolt of force that rips through 2 Space Marines after another and clanks off another, and as your hammer magically apparates back into your hand. The Space Marine host on the right flank and the left flank and the center swarm over this remaining handful of Space Marines, and the battle is effectively done. There's steaming piles of blood and viscera from various both Space Wolves and Khorne Space Marines. You are all highly disturbed. I need wisdom saves from everybody at this point.
Got a
16.
It's a 12.
Okay, so it's
What's our
DC. DC is actually 20 in this particular case. As you now are sort of viewing what is actually inside the Chaos Space Marine armor, now that's been rended open, it's just like, and it is nothing human. It is something foul and corrupt, as if they've grown together with but their bodies have grown together with their armor, and let's see here. Okay, as everybody that fails takes 4 insanity damage.
Oh, 4. Okay,
Fine.
yeah.
So you get 1 full insanity. Except me, because wisdom.
Everybody who succeeds takes 1 insanity damage.
I think I'm fine still.
And those people with dormant insanities at this point are just like, Asgul is just like running around, continuing to gleefully stab corpses and going, ah, die, die.
See,
And
like the
Dredges
beginning
is
of the
basically
battle, we
begin-
got everybody healed. It was.
And then Dredges is beginning to see bugs just crawl out of corpses all over the place in big swarms, and just like, and then they're crawling up his feet. They feels them on his back. It is as Dredges begins to just roll on the ground. Basically, he's like screaming uncontrollably. He's like, ah!
I'm just looking at him like he's crazy because there's no.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
that's where we'll leave it for this evening, and then we'll figure out the aftermath of that battle.
So everyone took 4 insanity except for Crow, and he took 1 point, right?
Yep.
And Hate took 1 point. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hate's good at saves. It's what he does.
Wait, I'm your. Do I get a +5 because I'm your?
You get a +5 if you're within 10 feet of me.
When does that get bumped up, Hate?
I think he gets
if,
bumped up.
If I gain more charisma,
No, sorry. The range. I should have clarified. The range on that.
it becomes.
I know at a
30
certain
feet
level
at
it gets bumped up to 30 feet.
17.
Ah, we got a ways to go.
Yeah. But in practical terms, we're probably going to end this campaign in probably in 2 more levels because I don't have a lot more to give for this particular campaign.
Yeah, we've seen and done so much already.
We've been having a great time, and really, it got a little ludicrous at level 17 on that last campaign, and I felt for you.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it. It's all fine.
We want you to have fun
This
too,
is like,
Lance.
also known as like. Yes, we had to have the white dragon that was dropping effectively the ice version of Meteor Swarm every turn in order to be a challenging fight.
Right, and the Sphere of Annihilation. Yeah, we had some.
Sphere of Annihilation in the background that people were having to avoid getting sucked into. Yes.
Yeah, it's.
So that. Indeed, that was fun, but it's just like the
hard to
I'm
balance.
Just saying, from
I get
this
it.
campaign standpoint, since it's like sort of sandbox, and it becomes less and less basically a dark universe when you're literally demigods. It's hard.
Yeah,
so,
I get it.
We're gonna stop at probably around 14. So.
That seems
as
quite
long as
reasonable.
I get a few. Yeah, as long as I get a few sections to play around with my sword, I'll be happy.
Yes.
I've been anticipating this thing for months.
Yeah, don't
now.
stop the campaign as soon as he pulls it up the forge.
The campaign's over. That's it. You get to retire now.
Campaign done.
I'm sorry. That'd be insanity points right there.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.